Welcome, race fans, to Delaware Speedway, where tonight the United Racing Series kicks off its 2021 season. My name's Greg Kellman, joining you from just outside of London, Ontario, where tonight the APC late models and the Qwick Wick Firestarter Super Stocks kick off their year. Normally, that would be the big story, but not tonight. Tonight is the very first chance we've had to have a decent-sized crowd. 25% here tonight, and the fans have just been itching to get back. But we'll still bring you all the action. If you couldn't make it to the track, we've got it all for you here tonight. Joining me, as always, will be Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross. They're down trackside with more stories to tell.
When I think of Delaware Speedway, I think of two things: speed and character. This is a half-mile racetrack. It carries a lot of speed. These race cars are going to be flying. I'm standing in turn number 4. They will be flying down these long straightaways. At the exit of 4, there's a character bump. So with this speed comes a lot of treacherous conditions. The car is going to fall away from these drivers as they come off the corner trying to make their moves. The reason I'm here specifically in turn number 4 is because I'm looking down the front straightaway. It is a tunnel. From where I'm standing, it looks so wide you could drive 8 transport trucks side by side. But what's going to happen tonight, folks, is this character spot in turn 4 is going to wreak havoc on one of the drivers. They are going to get out of shape on this front stretch, and when a car gets sideways at Delaware Speedway on this front straightaway, there is nowhere to go. Mark my words. We hope it doesn't happen, but inevitably at Delaware, if there's a problem on the front stretch, this wide straightaway becomes a parking lot, and drivers are going to have their heads up. Their spotters are going to have to be on point. It is going to be a wild night of racing here at Delaware Speedway.
Well, guys, the story here tonight is actually car count down here in the pits. Massive car counts. You've got nearly 40 super stocks, nearly 30 APC Pro Late models here tonight. It's going to be amazing. And if you watched all the action we had last year on G-Force, you know that these guys put on a fantastic show. It's our first visit here at Delaware. That's going to bring some new, exciting elements to the program here tonight. But the big thing we want to talk about is how these divisions have grown. The APC Late models in the last handful of years have just blossomed into car counts that are amazing. Any one of 20 drivers can win here tonight in the APC Late models. Over the Super Stocks, the Qwick Wick Series has done an amazing job of bringing this all together. You've got all these tracks working together on common rules now, and that allows nearly 40 cars to come together here at the first of this 5-race Qwick Wick Super Stock Series. We're excited to bring it to you right here on G-Force. Hang on, because we've got 2 amazing classes, 2 amazing car counts to talk about, and 1 wild night of action coming up live here on G-Force TV. So glad you're here with us.
When we return, we're going racing. It's the APC Series on G-Force TV. Welcome to Delaware Speedway for the APC Series on G-Force TV. Beautiful sights here at this 1/2 mile facility just outside of London, Ontario. My name is Greg Kellman. With me, Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey down trackside, getting an aerial view of what we're about to see here tonight. The APC Late Model Series on G-Force TV, along with the Qwick Wick Firestarter Super Stocks, who are lined up, getting ready to go here in just a few moments in the first race since 2019 here at Delaware Speedway. Adam, we've got fans in the stands. We've got drivers that are pumped to get ready. Excellent night of action ahead.
It's a phenomenal night, Greg. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got an interesting challenge right now in that our stream audio is working. So for those of you at home, welcome to G-Force TV. Strap yourselves in. It's going to be a heck of a night. For those of you sitting in the grandstands at Delaware Speedway, I'm not sure if our PA is getting out into the grandstand. If you can hear, give us a wave. Yeah, no, nobody. Nobody waving, so we've got no sound going out over there. So, folks, we're talking to you at home. We've just got to sort out some house PA issues here. So, in the meantime, Greg, what a day it's been.
Yeah, so far we've watched qualifying live here on GeForce TV, as well as the last chance qualifier for the Super Stocks. Plenty of stories. We've talked to a number of different drivers. And the main thing is, I don't think there's anyone in any division that's really a standout that we think, oh, they're going to dominate the field tonight. There are so many good drivers, top quality drivers within the top 20 in both series here.
You know, I want to focus on the Super Stocks for a minute, the Qwick Wick Super Stocks. To me, that series is so exciting because every track has some great super stock drivers, right? It's a series where, you know, some are Sauble guys, some are Sunset guys, some are Flamborough guys, some are Delaware guys. You put them all together, and it's a lot of fun to watch them out there competing. In the late models, it seems like they're all traveling stars. And in my opinion, I could be totally wrong, Greg, but that's just how I look at it. It's exciting to me to see all of these stars from different racetracks come together and put on such an impressive field with these super stock teams.
Yeah, they've come out in full force here this afternoon. 32 cars will start tonight's 50-lap event for the Super Stocks. We already had to send 5 drivers home and make that 7 drivers home here this afternoon, so it's going to be an interesting 50 laps for the Qwick Wick Firestarters Super Stock Series. Clinton Jeffries down track.
Yeah, hot story, guys, already. J.R. Fitzpatrick is out of his driver's suit. He's knee-deep in the engine bay here of this 84 transaxle machine. Says he broke a power steering belt. He has every power steering belt possible except the one he needs. I said, is that why you're in shorts? He said, oh, hell no. I'm racing. We're going to get this done, guys. Hot story already from the 84. Guy we talked to already a couple times tonight.
Well, he'll have a little bit of time here as we have this 50-lap Super Stock race, but boy, they're going to be hot at it right now trying to get things ready. As we mentioned earlier on, Jake Sheridan had some issues as well that they had to repair. So the APC pit area right now is a flurry of action for some teams. But right now, the main focus is on the Qwick Wick Firestarter Super Stock Series as they've lined up now on the front stretch. A beautiful field of cars here for this first official event for this series.
Clinton Jeffrey, you're going to have to do us a favor and let us know if you can hear over the PA system right now what's being said. It actually sounds like Clinton Jeffrey doesn't have ears on either. Clint, can you hear us over the PA? We'll have to talk a little bit over the PA for that to happen.
A little bit.
A little bit. Okay, well, that's progress. That's progress. Yep, we've got Russ Erlin in here. And Russ, which dial do I dial back if we do hit the red? The main? Perfect. Perfect. Hello, race fans. We'll keep it in the yellow. So instructions from Russ Erlin, the general manager here. And for those of you just hearing our voices for the first time in the grandstands, thanks for having us. Welcome. It is so nice to see you back. I'm Adam Ross with GeForce TV. Joining me is Greg Cowlin, and trackside we've got Clinton Jeffrey. Clinton, give us a confirmation with a thumbs up, or talk to us a little bit and make sure that we've got some good noise down there, because the fans are very much going to be involved in what happens next.
We can hear you guys. It's good.
Awesome. What's the atmosphere like down there, Clinton Jeffrey? It has been a wild day from everything I've seen. Just people so thankful to be back at the racetrack doing what we love to do.
Yeah, we can follow a couple of the stories that have been going on here, Adam. We just mentioned the GeForce Live home crew about J.R. Fitzpatrick. They're fighting with a power steering belt. We talked earlier about Jake Sheridan. They were fighting with a banjo bolt on the caliper of their brakes. It caused him issues in qualifying. A lot of the other teams are thrashing to work out the bugs here on opening day. But we have a lot of stories, and we're going to be here to follow them from pit road all night long.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen, we can get you 2 rides for the of our national anthem. Oh, looks like I might be having some trouble with the anthem, so I'm going to do something I've never done before, but I need some help, because I'm not a great singer. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, through all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see the bright star to grow strong. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. I need your help, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to count down from 3, 2, 1, and then you folks are going to help fire it off. You guys ready to make some noise? Say those magical words. 3, 2, 1, drivers, strike!
All right, ready to go. Trackside opening ceremonies taking place. And we are ready to go for the Qwick Wick Firestarter Superstock feature event. 50 laps will be the distance here at Delaware Speedway. Live on G-Force TV, my name Greg Kellman, with me Adam Ross down trackside. Clinton Jeffrey ready to bring you all the action. 2 features here tonight, 50 laps for the Superstocks, 100 laps. Spectre Premium 100 for the APC late models. We're ready to get things kicked off here with the Superstocks, and Nick Ramsey finds himself on the pole for this one as we get ready to go for the Superstocks. Nick Ramsey out of St. Thomas driving that Chevrolet, the APC Auto Parts Center Radar Auto Parts number 07. To the outside of him, going in car number 03, is Ray Morneau Jr. out of Windsor. The Iron Mike Industries Reed Farms 03.
On the inside of row number 2 out of Aylmer, the Douglas Windows and Doors APC Auto Parts Center's number 28, it's Ryan Dyson. And alongside him in the number 36 out of Brampton, Ontario, the Bester Forest Products number 36 is Lane Zardo.
Lining up on the outside, row number 3 is quickest in qualifying this afternoon out of Lucan. In the Inventory Express Lubricants Carter Trucking car number 1 is Trevor Culver. And on his outside, driving car number 6, that'll be Mike Weeda out of Bolton.
Next row back on the inside from Barrie, driving the Lefroy Plumbing, Lindbrace Farms number 11, it is Ethan Constable. And alongside him in the number 17, that's the Way Freight Line-X Newmarket sponsored number 17 out of Newmarket, Garrett Tiemersma.
Going from the inside of the next row in the 17 exit of Elmville, and the Chevrolet sponsored by McNichol Welding, Maverick Real Estate, Jennifer Hatch, it's Kenny McNichol, and drawing to the outside in car number 48, that's where we'll find the bully, Dwayne Baker out of Stainer, the Nisco National Leasing GD Coates Superstore number 48.
Starting in the 11th spot in the number 9 out of Strathroy, the McRobert Fuels Damon Optional Health Team number 9, it's Andrew Ferreira. And alongside him from Walkerton, the Marvin Freiberger and Sons Inc. VersaBank number 37, Marvin Freiberger.
Rolling off from position number 13 out of Mount Hope in the Queenston Chevrolet Graphic Market Solution machine, that is Carson Nagy. And going from car number 08, he was quick time early on in this one. Out of Grafton, it's Paul Boundy.
Starting in the 15th spot in the number 45 machine out of Petrolia, the Lifeline Inventory Express 45, it's Ryan Bright. And alongside him in the 16th spot in the number 30 out of Allenford, the Elmer's Lighting Supply Ron Pringle Electric, number 30, Todd Davenport.
Out of Hamilton in the number 73, the Alexander Glass and Door machine, that'll be Nick Troback. And alongside him in car number 10C, the pilot, well, I don't have his information on my list, but driving the 10C tonight will be Dennis Sabowski.
Starting in the 19th spot, driving car number 4. Out of Dorchester, the Johnstone Supply Jag sponsor number 4 is Lonnie Thompson. Alongside him in the number 39 from Glencoe, the Watson Auto Body sponsored entry, that's Dave McCullough.
Dave Rockwood goes from position number 21 in car number 90. He's out of London, Ontario, in the McNichol Welding and Fabricating Machine. And alongside him is Matt Bentley in the 21B. He's out of Guelph in the Bennett Mechanical, number 21B.
Sorry about that, Greg. I led you wrong. Just one driver we missed. He's out of North Bay in that beautiful Humberview Parts.ca Action Utility Trailers. Number 29 is Paul Pepper. Then we'll jump back to the outside of row number 12, driving the number 7. It's a mystery. Hometown and sponsors a mystery, but we can tell you it's Doug Stewart behind the wheel of the number 7.
Starting in the 25th spot, a familiar face out of Port Elgin in the Mowbray's Canadian Tire. Car number 8, that'll be Jason Parker, and alongside him in car number 19 out of Windsor, the Shock Pros ATV Accessory and Parts number 19 is Kevin Trevelyan.
The number 49 machine, I'm sorry, I almost left one out as well. A driver from Cambridge, Ontario, young man behind the wheel of the number 12, London Recreational Racing, Grey Bar, Canada. Number 12 is Justin Collison. Alongside him, the number 49 machine out of Barrie, the Hambley Construction Auto Trim number 49 is Frank Davey.
Winner of the last chance qualifier is car number 83, Johnny Morrison out of Barrie, the North Country Property Maintenance Machine. And he'll go 29th. Going 30th is Roy Wilkie out of Walkerton in the number 33 machine. That car sponsored by Bester Forest Products. Going from position number 31, we'll find Corey McAllister in the 71. He's out of Durham in the Struck Energy Systems machine. And going 32nd will be Marley Owen in car number 21.
That is your impressive 32-car starting grid for the Qwick Wick Super Stocks, tonight's 50-lap main event. Oh, Greg, finally the sun is in a spot where it doesn't feel like you and I are actually sitting on the surface of it. It's gone down to a point where we can enjoy this racetrack half mile. We can't stress enough, the entry of these corners, it's a long braking zone. You got to get the car settled down. What I find so special about Delaware Speedway is the middle of the turns and corner exit. They're an adventure all to themselves. You got to keep the car on the bottom of the racetrack, roll up through the throttle, but not too hard to get over that bump and lose the back end of the race cars. It gets real light. So these drivers have their hands full, and it's hard enough to do it all by yourself, but when there's 31 other hungry race car drivers out there who all want to start this series off with a bang, Greg, that's the kind of fireworks we are about to see.
That beautiful Ford Mustang pace car is going to pull off on the back stretch. Well, no, they're going to pull off down there in corner number 3, down to the inside and bring this field through 3 and 4. All bunched up, looking pretty and ready to race, but the action is about to get heated for the first time in 2021 for the Qwick Wick Firestarter Super Stock Series. They start their season now. Door to door into corner number 1, Nick Ramsey jumps out to the early advantage over Ray Morneau Jr., and they'll work it down the backstretch for the first time, 2 by 2.
Boy, it looked like Ramsey really had that spot, but Ray Morneau with a great run off the outside of number 2, and they are door to door through turn number 4. The leader of lap number 1 is going to be Ramsey by a nose.
Yeah, just barely. They bang doors down into corner number 1. Ramsey on the bottom, Morneau on the outside. Then they're side by side. We got Mike Weida losing positions in the 6 car as he's up against the wall down the backstretch.
Down into 3, still side by side for the top spot. Ramsey on the bottom, nosing out ahead. Ray Morneau, nope, he's not giving up and falling into line. In fact, Morneau with a huge run down the outside.
Staying tough on that outside line. Lane Zardo tucked up in behind him, that 3rd spot with Ryan Dyson to his inside as they work it down into corner number 3. Now Morneau will tuck in line in that 2nd spot.
Yeah, and I think that's for the best for both Ramsey and for Morneau, although Lane Zardo working that outside groove on the 0-3. He has passed the 28 of Ryan Dyson, slinging it into the high side in that 36 machine, Bester Forest Products entry, but he can't keep position, and here goes Ryan Dyson to the bottom. All the while, Trevor Culver, who was the fastest car in time trials earlier on, lurking there in that 5th spot.
Fighting his time in behind Ryan Dyson, who's down to the inside of Lane Zardo. Zardo going to block the lane on the front stretch, but they remain door to door now off that 2nd corner, down the hill, down the back stretch into corner number 3 with Ramsey leading over Morneau, and then that side-by-side battle between Dyson and Lane Zardo.
Lane Zardo trying to pinch off Dyson, wants to get into single file, but Ryan Dyson with just enough strength on the bottom of the racetrack to keep that nose there. Keep Lane Zardo honest on the outside, and them battling side by side is allowing Trevor Culver, Kenny McNichol, Ethan Constable to stay in the fray, and it's only a matter of Ferreira in the 9 and Garrett Teemersma in the 17 battling side by side, or I think they would be right there in the mix as well.
Teemersma will tuck in behind Ferreira's. Continue to watch that battle for the 3rd position. Dyson on the bottom, Zardo on the outside, and Culver's right there now. He's knocking on the back bumper saying, okay guys, out of the way, I've got a fast rocket ship here.
I'm noticing some damage on the left front of that Ferreira number 9. It looks like he got into something on the start, or there was some jockeying for position. That left front wheel looks very exposed, but what that means is someone else also got hit. He had to knock that body work away somehow, so we'll keep an eye on the 9 machine, and you watch for cut tires in a situation like that, Greg.
Things all stacked up from 3rd on back now as Culver's got company on the outside. Kenny McNichol now will look to the outside of Ryan Dyson as they're 2 by 2 from 3rd on back as they work it off of corner number 2. Dyson on the bottom, Zardo continuing to hang tough on that outside. An impressive run for that machine.
You know, this race, we don't know when we're going to get a yellow, but I need to get this in. Todd Davenport Racing, he just lost his father, Greg, recently, and his mom is watching from home on the stream. At least that's what he said to me. His mom's going to be watching. They're heartbroken that he lost his dad, so he's out here racing in his honor here this weekend.
And right now running in the 14th spot is Todd Davenport in that number 30 machine, as Nick Ramsey has extended his advantage now for Ray Morneau Jr., who's back in 2nd. Lane Zardo has worked his way into that 3rd position. Persistence paid off, and he's got the 3rd spot over Ryan Dyson, Trevor Culver in 5th.
We look back through the field watching for side-by-side battles. I think that's Kevin Trevelyan in the 19 machine racing through 3 and 4. He is on the bottom groove. Up on the outside of him as they battle down the front stretch is the 7 of Doug Stewart.
Side-by-side action continues to be that battle between the 9 of Andrew Ferreira, who right now they're single file, but they've been going back and forth, and Garrett Teemersma in that number 17, the Wave Freight Ford, who sits back there behind him. He was the winner at Flamborough Speedway a couple of weeks back.
I think there might be a problem, unless I'm crazy, with the Todd Davenport number 30. It might have been contact with Freiberger, but I saw some smoke as he was making that move. Possible the smoke was off Freiberger's number 37. Either way, we'll keep an eye on that as Freiberger up on the outside with Nick Troback making a move to the inside down the front stretch.
The shot there, you see Kenny McNichol along with Ethan Constable, Andrew Ferreira, and here's Garrett Teemersma. 4-car fight right now, middle of the top 10, actually back there in the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th spots.
Paul Pepper trying to make some moves. He looks to the inside of Kevin Trevelyan down into turn number 3 in that beautifully lettered number 29 machine. Parker down low. Trevelyan going to close that door and maintain the position.
Comes the pressure for the 2nd spot, and then the battle for the 4th spot going on behind. Lots to watch right now at the front of the field.
So Ray Morneau has a lot of laps here at Delaware Speedway. He's run plenty of races here as Lane Zardo showed a nose there, and boy, Morneau not only fended him off, but it's almost like it catapulted him towards the leader, gave him some motivation there to close in on Nick Ramsey. Not that he's close enough to mount a challenge, but he's put some daylight between himself and the 36 of Zardo.
Now with 34 laps left to go, it's Trevor Culver up into the 4th spot. He's worked by Ryan Dyson in that 28. Kenny McNichol's been on the move here, and now he'll work on the back end of the Dyson 28.
Wow, close quarters racing between Ferreira and the 11 of Ethan Constable as they came out of turn number 4, same down into 1 and 2. Constable trying to hold Ferreira down to the extreme inside. A little bit of contact there between 1 and 2 as we look again at this battle. Lane Zardo was closed in again on the back end of Ray Morneau in the 0-3.
Right there off of corner 4, and we talked about this during qualifying. You'd be treacherous getting off that 4th corner if you get a little bit loose. Zardo trying to take advantage of that. Now he's worked his way right up into the inside door panel of Ray Morneau Jr. as they go down the backstretch.
Zardo with the move. You see Trevor Culver closing in as well. You don't want to leave any opportunity missed here at Delaware. If someone gets a nose inside someone and you're close enough to dive into the corner, you definitely want to do it. And that's what Culver's doing, positioning himself to not lose out on an opportunity.
Clean racing all the way around the racetrack. The leader right now, Nick Ramsey, got a good gap back to second, a 1.5 second advantage right now. But the other thing he's dealing with is, whoa, we got one up and around in corner 2. I was about to say Nick Ramsey was about to catch the tail of the field, but that will all be for naught as we're under the caution flag. 19 laps completed in this one.
Doug Stewart in the 7, Lonnie Thompson in the number 4. It looks from here like both drivers will be able to drive away. Folks in the grandstands, this is what we've been waiting for. If you've got a smartphone, if you've got a device, head to GeForceTV.net. We have 8 cameras here at the facility tonight shooting the racing from all sorts of different angles. So if you miss something live, or if you see it and you want to see it again, we are going to try to show it to you from a variety of angles. However, sometimes we miss it, and we do not have a replay of this incident between Lonnie Thompson and Doug Stewart down in turn number 1, but we highly encourage, we don't want you to stream the whole night. That'll give you a big data bill when your cell phone bill comes in, but should something wild happen, whip out your phone, head to GeForceTV.net, click on the live stream, and you'll be able to see the kind of magic that our camera crew does, along with our producer Spencer, producer Daniel. They do some fantastic work, Greg. I'm pretty proud of the team that we've got.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job, and we're seeing a shot down the backstretch. We've got a speed cam on the backstretch, the front stretch. We've got Thompson Photography working the drones, so we're getting some great aerial views. Kale and the crew doing a great job down there as well. I want to thank everyone that is part of the GeForce TV network.
So Clinton Jeffrey is headed to the infield. We can see Dennis Sabalski's 10C has wheeled in. They've got the hood off of that race car. Clinton giving some direction down there. We've got a few new tricks up our sleeve, one of which is Clinton with a better audio system. He can hear everything we're saying. I bet we're about to hear his microphone come to life.
Hey guys, I got the motor stumbling down here. We're in the middle of the field, so we're working out the bugs, but Sabalski says the engine is stumbling. They're not sure what the problem is, but they're just going to shut it off. It looks like trying to figure out what it is, guys. They don't know. A bit baffled down here.
What a bummer. I was actually watching him because I was impressed in qualifying that he qualified much better than the group that he was in. So I thought, good for Dennis Sabalski. We'll keep an eye on him in the feature, see where he runs. And he'd been holding his own, and things didn't end that well for Dennis Sabalski, but some nights go like that, Greg.
That it does. Quick car in qualifying earlier on today. Had a good solid lap for quite a while. Ended up qualifying in the 19th position, but was near the top of the board up until the last few groups. And, good afternoon has soured now for the 10C, and now Roy Wilkie, who just made his way into the race through the last chance qualifier, looks like headed to his trailer in the infield as well.
So the super stocks are using the infield as their pit area. They do not come down pit road. They enter and exit the track on the back straightaway. And the APC series, of course, has pit lane, so it'll be a more traditional entry and exit into the pits, in case you were wondering.
There we see Roy Wilkie and Clinton Jeffrey standing by.
Yeah, guys, they've gone to work on the left front here, trying to get the car jacked up. They've got the safety stand there ready to go, and we'll see what happens. So I'm not sure what it is. The tire looks up. We'll follow this one and see what they go to work on, guys.
Yeah, normally you wouldn't expect to see a jack stand for a tire change. So it looks like they want to have a look in there at some of the suspension. And
well, they're right up in there, Adam.
Yeah, that's what I thought of that. I hope he's not on fire when he comes out of that.
Now, I would assume maybe a brake or a left front suspension issue here by the way they're going to it. As we say, the tire all looks good. I'll jump in there and see. What's wrong with the car, buddy?
We heard Clinton ask the question, and then you could hear the mic go out as I believe, as he stuck the mic into the window of the race car. But the cell phone light goes on to light the way in behind that hub. So I'm not sure. Clinton, could you hear what Roy was saying the issue was?
Yeah, you're right. As soon as I stuck the microphone, and we're behind the big trailers and everything here, so we're really pushing the system's limits here. He said he felt like something was grabbing in the brakes or loose in the front end. Every time he got on the brakes, it jumped to the right, so they're checking it out to see what the issue is. But he don't look like they're in any hurry to get back out. Now they're going to work on the left rear, so maybe a tracking issue? Not sure what it could be here, Adam.
No, and you don't want to speculate, but we try to think what can make a car lurch to the right. It could be the left front brake not grabbing. It could be something in the back end shifting that allows that car, once you hit the brakes, the rear end to shift in that race car. Normally a problem like that gets worse very quickly though, Greg. Because once the rear end is out of alignment, once you have that shift, usually something breaks and completely ends your night.
I was all excited because I saw him have the cell phone out there, and I thought, oh, he's going to fix this car the way I do it. Hey, Google. But no, he was using it for a flashlight.
Greg, we see this a lot. So if we're in the red, they'll start taking pictures under the car until they're allowed to work on it. But this situation, it looks like they're trying to see behind.
Yeah, he's
trying to see behind the hub. So they're actually taking pictures of the backside of the parts they can't see, then looking at it to see if they can find what the problem is, guys.
Pretty slick, I'll tell you that much. Let's give you a quick rundown because we're one to go. Nick Ramsey leading the way in the 07, Lane Zardo in the 36, Ray Morneau in the 03, Trevor Culver in the 1, Ryan Dyson in the 28, then it's the 17 and Kenny McNichol running 6th. 7th, it's Andrew Ferreira in the 9, 8th, it's Ethan Constable in the 11, 9th, it's Garrett Teemersma in the 17, and then it's the bully Dwayne Baker rounding out the top 10. We are going to go Qwick Wick, fire it up, and oh, Todd Davenport into the pits. Man, it's been a bad enough few weeks already for Todd Davenport. Hate to see that, but we're going to go Qwick Wick, fire it up, and enjoy the sound of the race cars.
Up at him. They got 3 wide there, and Lane Zardo was the loser in that exchange.
We got one around in 3 and 4. It's Lonnie Thompson in that number 4 machine looking to see if that car will fire. It does not appear that it will. Yeah, they don't go 3 wide for us, but they go 3 wide for Qwick Wick. Fire it up.
So that will put us back under the caution flag with 21 complete. And a bit of a shuffle amongst the top 5 there since that last restart.
You know, Greg, I thought over the last number of months that nobody was listening to the lockdown and the stay-at-home orders and the rules that were laid out. Did you notice the increase in traffic the last 2 days? Holy moly, they've let the chickens loose and they're everywhere. Well, the pigeons loose. That's the expression, isn't it? Have you noticed that?
Yeah, coming here today alone, just the traffic that's been out there, and good to see people out and about. And was talking with some folks today about how I kind of felt guilty. We got to go to the many races last year when many folks maybe got to one or none at all, and so great to see fans here at the racetrack tonight. Again, 25% capacity. Now this track will hold 10,000 people. If there's not just the built-in seating, there's also the hills all the way around, which make it's awesome. You can come, bring your blanket, bring a chair, and just have a comfortable night at the races. And fantastic facility. If you've never been to Delaware Speedway, I promise you, mark it on your calendar. It's always been one of my favorite tracks to come to, just to watch, not even to work at.
There's a special atmosphere when you come into this place. And it was funny today because, folks, for those of you who have not been able to come to the races for a while, we didn't talk to each other last year. Like, you'd come to the races, you did not have conversations because there wasn't a lot of mingling. So today I caught myself as people were walking up and chatting and you're passing by people and stopping to have conversations. I thought, you know, we've been at the races all last year, but it wasn't the same. This is what we're here for, folks. Thank you so much for coming out. We hope you're having a great time. You're being treated to some fantastic racing. It's only going to get better here tonight, but boy, this feels good, Greg.
It certainly does, and we're only 20 laps into it so far. And I'm sure the fans here at Delaware Speedway extra happy to see this racing tonight because the Speedway sat dormant all of last year and didn't see a lap of action, whereas some at least got races in, whether it was with 100 fans or no fans. And we were happy to bring as much of it to you as we could here on G-Force TV, and we want to thank everyone that supported us over the last season, and a reminder to support all those sponsors that make all this possible to keep it free for you here on the internet, on YouTube, Facebook. If you're watching online, make sure you subscribe, click that notification bell on YouTube, or share us up on Facebook as well. We've gone across multi-platforms to get as many eyeballs on this sport as possible, and we're going to see some more great racing for free right here tonight.
You said a mouthful. Like, that was quite a run.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have it in me.
It happens here and there, doesn't it?
Tomorrow night we'll be at Brighton Speedway, so if you're here in attendance tonight or watching online and you want to see what Brighton Speedway is all about, we'll have the first ever race for the Pinty's Knights of Thunder 360 Sprint Car Series, along with their late model division, the UMP Modifieds, and also the Thunder Stocks and Mini Stocks down off the shores of Lake Ontario. Brighton Speedway, a couple hours east of Toronto, Ontario. And make sure you check it out. The first 360 Sprint Car event for the Knights of Thunder, going to be an absolute great show tomorrow night. And I can't wait to see the feature winner with that trophy that Clint had made up for them. It's a huge Excalibur sword made as a trophy. It's going to be cool to see what gets done with that in Victory Lane.
For sure. Clinton, Jeffrey, what's going on?
Yeah, I just want to talk a bit about tomorrow. I mean, we're super excited. We are all kind of quasi-announcers at Brighton Speedway. Throughout the years, we've filled in for the past 3 or 4 seasons. Kind of our second home track. I'm excited to get back. We got 21 cars signed up for the 360s, which is great. And yeah, I can't wait to see who's going to hold up that big sword tomorrow night, live here on G-Force.
And folks, the reason we talk about things like this, for the same reason we're excited that Rogers TV is here, you know, for folks in the London area. Watch it on Rogers. Make it a habit on Friday nights if you're sitting on the back patio having an adult beverage. And then one week come out to the races and experience. If you're watching from Brighton because you're going to the race tomorrow, but you thought, I want to check out Delaware Speedway, then on a Friday night, head down the 401 and check it out. Experience something different. That's what this is all about, Clint.
Yeah, we talked a lot about last year about cross-pollination. Well, for the first time, we've got dirt sprint car fans watching late models here tonight as they get ready for tomorrow, and hopefully a lot of the late model fans will tune into dirt. A lot of cross-promotion, I think. Racing in Ontario is stronger than ever, and we're just happy to be a part of it, guys.
Green flag's going to fly next time at a turn number 4. Nick Ramsey has had his way with this one, but look who is right behind him, Trevor Culver in that number 1. Ray Morneau's had a good race, Lane Zardo's had a good race, but neither of them have really been able to challenge Nick Ramsey. Can Trevor Culver mount that challenge, Greg?
We'll find out as we come back to the green flag with 30 laps left to go here for the Qwick Wick Firestarter Super Stock Series. Ramsey and Morneau bring us back to the green flag. Sean Gibbs will wave it, and we're back at it down into corner number 1.
Ray Morneau leads the way down across the start-finish line, and Trevor Handley mentioned this at the drivers' meeting. The outside pole can lead the way to the start-finish line, but at some point in that lap, the pole sitter has earned the right to lead the way. And boy, oh boy, trouble for the race leader, Nick Ramsey, in the 07 contact with the 03 of Morneau. And I bet you $20, bet you $100 we get a replay of this one. Folks, grab your smartphones if you want to see it again. We're about to have a look at what went down here in turn number 4 as Ray Morneau edged out in front. But Greg, what I was saying was the leader does not have to cross the stripe first, but if the outside pole sitter does get the lead first at the start-finish line, they have to give it back at some point over that lap.
Andrew Ferreira and Paul Boundy both had to take evasive action and go down into the pit lane where the APC series is parked, and here's a look at the play.
Go up high, Nick Ramsey down low. Oh, there was contact from behind. I just assumed it was something that, you know, Ramsey and Morneau got together, but there was contact from the cars behind. I'm not sure if it was Lane Zardo. I'm not sure if it was Trevor Culver. I'm not sure if it was a little bit of both, but Spencer, that was a great view if we can see that again.
I don't know if Trevor Culver was close enough. We'll have another look. If it's anybody, it's Lane Zardo.
So
right. there.
Yeah, Lane Zardo in the 36. I mean, it's close quarters racing, but it was the back end of Ramsey that almost clipped the 0-3. Ethan Constable goes around. Spencer, cue that up one more time. Officials in the tower actually want to see it. If you can cue it up one more time. And Ethan Constable getting a fresh right front tire on.
The telltale will be watch the rear wheels. Watch the rear end of the 07's going to come up off the air just a little bit even before he starts spinning.
And it's just fierce racing.
Up.
I mean, you nice bit of driving by Ray Morneau. Nice bit of driving by Trevor Culver. Okay, a little bit of contact there. That's not going to be good. Andrew Ferreira heads down the pit lane. Kenny McNichol climbs up a little bit. I'll tell you what. It
could have been a whole lot worse.
Yep.
Entirely could have been a worse situation down there in corner number 4. And for the most part, the contact that was made was cosmetic, I do believe. So.
Looks like Ray Morneau is headed to the pits as well. Clinton Jeffrey, it's getting crowded down there.
Yeah, we're busy over here. Thank goodness everything's working. You got Carson Nagy in here. You can see the damage to the left front. They've tried to stick the old bar in there and push basically the plastic nose out, but it's kind of pushed in there. They're trying to figure out how they can brace it out. They're taking the left front off to get some equipment in there to be able to make this work for Carson Nagy. So we'll watch and see what happens. Carson directing from the cockpit here. And the crew in here trying to look. Yeah, it looks purely a body issue, Adam. I don't see anything that's going to cause them an issue other than the body, and they're going to put a new left front on as well.
I don't know. Is there brake ducts in there that they're working on, Clint, or is it just the body and making sure it's off the tire?
No, the brake duct and everything looks good. Ryan, come on over here for me if you can. Work your way back around here. Come on. Right over here, Ryan. We're trying to get around this, but and you can see, Adam, you can see the brake. The brake duct is good. Yep. It's just trying to pull the body off here because it's rubbing on the tire. And I think they got it now. That should be clear enough that this worked for Carson Nagy, guys.
Was that Mike McCall in there hauling on a pry bar? I'm not sure. Either way, everyone pitches in to help the competition. You know, it's a matter of keeping people on the racetrack, getting people back on the racetrack. Ethan Constable heading through the pits right now. I don't know if his work is finished. He's heading back to the track or if he's pulled back.
Well, they're going for hood pins on that car now, Adam, as they put the hood pins on the 93. Ryan and I will make our way back over to the 11 car, and I'm directing traffic here in the pits. But we're having fun, aren't we, Ryan? And now they got the hood up, Adam, and they got the old flashlight in there trying to take a look down under the hood and see what could be wrong. So still problems under the right front here for Ethan Constable.
The pace car is out there. I'm trying to figure out who's leading this race. The pace car is working the outside of 3 and 4, he's using a groove that we haven't seen much of tonight, Greg, but he's making great progress.
Does this not feel like iRacing? I'm waiting for him to drive through a car.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, guys, just to wrap things up, both Ethan Constable and Carson Nagy have exited the pits and are making their way back to the tail of the field.
So, scoring is working on the lineup right now. What they have to decide is who was involved, who was not. In an example of, say, the 9 of Andrew Ferreira, does he get penalized for coming down pit road, or does he get rewarded for avoiding that melee? So it's
rain at 20 laps complete, 30 to go here. The Qwick Wick Fire Starter Super Stock 50-lap event at Delaware Speedway. Greg Kelman along with Adam Ross, Clinton Jeffrey. On a beautiful night here just west of London, Ontario. And we've been put under the caution as Nick Ramsey went around up in corner number 3. And Lane Zardo may or may not have a play in that. And if he did, like you said, nothing intentional. Diving into that corner with a head of steam and just trying to...
I'll rarely say it wasn't intentional. I don't think it would have been, like it's not the time or the place. But you drive in hard, you're trying to gain position. And this has been a debate for so long. The driver's responsible for what his or her car does. It doesn't often matter. Intent often doesn't matter. It's the result of the actions. So it wouldn't make sense for Lane to have tried to create that melee. but you never know. Sometimes it does. I don't even know what I'm trying to say at this point, Greg. Now for something completely different.
Oh, my. So Ray Morneau Jr. comes out of this as the leader. Trevor Culver up to the second spot. Lane Zardo holds down third. Ryan Dyson fourth. And the bully, Dwayne Baker, now has worked his way inside the top 5. He started back in the 11th spot. So Dwayne Baker making some moves here. Garrett Tiemersma back there in the 6th position.
So they're just talking about the 9 now, and I really like this call.
Yep.
I like the call to give the driver their spot back because they did a good enough job to not make the accident worse.
Yep.
It's challenging.
He had no choice, and his reaction to, if you were way at the back of the pack and you came up on this, had plenty of time to slow down, turn to the right, yeah, maybe we're not going to let you run through the pits, but he had nowhere to go in that split second. He had to go down pit lane, as well as Paul Boundy. They did it safely as well. They weaved their way carefully through the pits and rewarded to get their spots back.
And folks, let me tell you, that big tractor tire at the end of the inside pit wall down there between 3 and 4, that is real. Like you, as a driver, it is on your mind that will hurt.
Yep.
Right? So given the chance of there's half a car length to the car width to the outside, or there's all of pit road, head down pit road. Kenny McNichol into the pits in that number 17 machine. Garrett Tiemersma into the pits with the other 17 machine. Looks like a flat left front on the Tiemersma Way Freight sponsored entry. He was so excited about this season. I'm sure he still is.
Keep an eye on both of those cars as they get worked on in the pit area. Garrett was up there inside the top 10, running in the 6th spot before pulling into the pits.
Well, guys, they're working on the right front here for Kenny McNichol. And you look at over the Tiemersma car, they're working on the left front. So not sure, yeah, for flat left front for the Tiemersma 17 car here for Garrett. He came in with high hopes. You know, he told us last week at our Flambeau race that he wanted to be the one who was taking home the flag tonight. Ryan, watch your back when they pull out there. But get over here, Ryan. All right. We'll send it back up to the guys in the tower as we watch them fix up the 17 guys.
It looks like we'll have a quick break here and return to the action as things get lined back up here on GeForce TV.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave sausages and street dogs. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
Early man discovered fire, but Qwick Wick perfected fire. Qwick Wick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Qwick Wick retailer at QwickWick.com.
A guy like this, who relies on his truck for work, knows that his truck will take care of him if he takes care of his truck. And WeatherTech has always been the ultimate protection. From floor liners to no-drill mud flaps to tech liner for your truck bed to bump step to the handy under-seat storage system. And Cup Phone keeps phones secure in any cup holder. Order your ultimate protection today at WeatherTech.ca.
Back live at Delaware Speedway for the APC Late Model Series on GeForce TV. Right now under the caution flag with 20 laps complete, 30 to go for the Qwick Wick Firestarter Superstock Series. Ray Morneau Jr. out in front over Trevor Culver. And the field now taking shape. Looks like most of the drivers have found their spots. Garrett Tiemersma has made his way back out on the track, so has Kenny McNichol. So I think we are close to getting back to doubling this field up and getting back to the green flag.
Once again, I mentioned under green, let's mention it under yellow. Todd Davenport back on the track in that number 30 machine. Recently lost his father, so we say a special hello to his mom watching from home. Hopefully enjoying the show in sad, sad times, Greg. I can relate. Todd had sent that to me in a note, asked me if I'd
there he is there.
mention that.
Beautiful car, that 30 machine. As we see Garrett Tiemersma now looking to find his spot at the tail of the field after going into the infield.
I just had to reach for something on the floor. The floor has never felt so far away. Pulled something a month ago, Greg. Walking, exercising. That's why I don't.
Walking?
So
you pulled something walking.
Something in my butt.
Wow.
In my butt muscle. My right cheek, I can't stand, I can't sit, I can't do anything. It's awful.
Your butt muscle's located on your shoulders.
What a jerk. Let's wish a happy 27th birthday to Derek. Dang it, I rehearsed this early. Derek Damaris. I believe that's how you say that from Mom and Dad. She said it, I repeated it, I was so happy, and then I just read it and I choked. See that? See what happens? Pull a cheek muscle and I can't talk anymore. I really do talk on my butt.
I wish you'd pull a tongue muscle.
You know,
you said it was good to be back, so you get to take it all.
It was good to be socially distant with you, because we always have been. And it's just that's best.
Well, the field is doubled up. Sean Gibbs gives them the signal. The next time by, we'll go back to the green flag. And how about we fire it up again? The Qwick Wick fire starter. Fire it up. The sights and sounds of the Super Stocks with 30 laps to go in their main event here at Delaware Speedway. The Qwick Wick fire starter. Fire it up. Well, he was quickest in qualifying. He had to start fifth, but now he finds himself out in front. Trevor Culliver tucks in front of Ray Morneau Jr., so car number 1 will be in P1 on the board as they cross the stripe this time by.
How about Andrew Ferreira, a driver who turned down pit road to avoid the last caution? He's up in that 4th position and battling for 5th. It's Mike Guida in the 6th. He had fallen out of the top 10, and he just took over that spot from Ryan Dyson in the 28.
Yeah, an earlier restart from Mike Guida. He got shuffled to the high side and back quite a few positions, but he's fought his way back up to the top 5 just behind Andrew Ferreira.
Lane Zardo looks to be quicker than the 0-3 of Ray Morneau. He just hasn't quite found the way to get around him just yet. He's got a nose underneath off of turn 4. He's got a good nose under the 0-3, but still Ray able to pull him down the front straightaway. He'll leave that door open, and Lane will nudge himself to the inside and look for racing room down on the bottom.
3-wide action back with Matt Bentley back there with Kevin Trevelyan. And one other car, some good racing towards the back, but Ray Morneau and Lane Zardo are the feature on the screen right now. Zardo looks to the inside. Oh, little contact there.
Little contact. I was just about to say how clean these drivers are racing right now at the front of the field. It's fun to watch drivers race with respect out there. And that's what we've seen some of. We've seen a little bit of bumping and grinding, but we've seen a lot of respect as well as Lane Zardo pulls across the nose of the 0-3 of Morneau. Morneau has to lift. That allows Ferreira up the inside in that number 9.
And Mike Guida also hoping to walk through the door as well as they race down the hill, down the back stretch into corner number 3. Guida down to the inside of Ray Morneau Jr. Door to door, a little touch in there as well.
Yeah, things getting a little more physical. Every driver that tries to go by Ray Morneau, it seems to get a little bit more physical as they go down into the corner, a little bit of contact. But I think that's because when Culver and Ray Morneau raced side by side, they were right door to door, right at the bottom. Now there's a little bit of drifting. Whoa, one goes up the wall on the backstretch. That was Corey McAllister up off of turn number 2.
Ryan Dyson was the benefactor.
Trouble.
Oh, Lane Zardo slow here on the front stretch. As he paces down to the infield and may be able to stay on the green flag. Wow, that was a close call in corner one.
Wow. I'll take a change of trousers in turn one, please.
Under the caution flag. If only just to restart my heart after that that close call down there in corner one.
I wonder if we're going to see debris out there. Like, I wonder if there's a drive shaft on the track out of the 36 or something like that. Because it seemed like the field had avoided him. Corey McAllister in that beautiful number 71. The American Racer logo rubbed off the outside. We're going to look at Lane Zardo there down on the inside. Look at this narrow miss from the back of the field. That's Doug Stewart. Oh, boy. All that work Lane Zardo did, battling his way, and to have it end up like that, tough break for that young man. Clinton, what do you see down there?
Well, I see the crew working to push him back to the pit stall here. No power under the hood of this 36 machine for Zardo, so we'll see what happens. And yeah, it slowly rolls here. No life. And they drop the window net, and right away, Lane goes for the helmet, guys. So you know he's pretty much done here. And we'll watch him get in there and get unbuckled. We'll try and get a word with him once we figure out what it is, but obviously something terminal. They are done here tonight by the looks of it. I looked under the car, I don't see no fluid, guys, so wait to try and get a word here with Lane.
Yeah, the fact that he knows right away at terminal. Here we got Garrett Teemersman, the 17, back into the pits, and the crew having a look up under the hood.
His previous trip to the pit area, he kind of parked so his crew could get in the car, and now it looks as though they're there for a little bit longer stay.
Well, guys, looks like they broke the distributor pin is what I'm being told. Said they didn't have the right gears in there, just twisting it a little too hard. And that'll do it here for Lane Zardo. We're going to get him out of the car and talk to him. He's just getting his Hans device off. Tough break for him. Lane's always in these battles. Lane, tough break here. They're telling me it's a distributor pin. What are you hearing?
Yeah, we're grinding pretty hard up there. There's some bumping and banging. Good racing with Ray Monroe. Colliver was checking out a little bit. Felt like we were able to. We're slowly picking up on him, and this is my first time at this track. I was learning every single lap kind of where to hit, and I felt like I was able to start to reel him in. The car was starting to come in really good, even with the little bit of commotion going on out there, and went to get on the gas and heard a bang, and I got hit from behind, and she was done, and now we're here.
Appreciate your time, Lane. Tough break here tonight.
Yeah, just real quick, I'd like to thank my team. They did a lot of work over the last week to get ready for this week. We got a new sponsor, Badger Daylighting. I'd like to thank Leslie Port, Besley Port. I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but what a heartbreak.
You can see the dejection in his face, guys. Lane was learning, and he was coming.
Fun to watch these youngsters. And again, the youngsters are all getting a little bit older, but it's still young talent and fun to watch them battle out there, Greg. And now it's Trevor Culver, Andrew Ferreira along the outside. Ray Morneau going to restart in the third position on the outside of row number 2. It'll be Mike Weeda. Ryan Dyson has struggled on a couple of the restarts we've seen. And look at that, the bully Dwayne Baker up there in the third row in the 48. So he is not young talent. He is veteran talent.
22 laps left to go in this one for the Qwick Wick Firestarter Super Stock Series. Trevor Culver, Andrew Ferreira on the front row for this restart. Pace car will pull off. Corners 3 and 4.
Well, guys, I got Garrett Teemersman here. Garrett, you high hopes for tonight. What's the story?
Tonight was a story of malfunctions that shouldn't have gone wrong. I mean, we had a mount on our car brake, and I've never seen it before in my life. In the race, that incident happened with the Black 17. It all just fell apart. I mean, and we had a part break maybe because of that later in the race, and that's what retired us today.
Appreciate your time, Garrett. Back to the guys in the tower for the call of the race.
I think we'll hear a lot more from Garrett Teemersman as the summer goes on. A young man with a lot of talent, a great crew behind him.
29 goes on the board. Trevor Culver leads. Andrew Ferreira, Ray Morneau, and then it's side by side Mike Weida on the outside of Ryan Dyson, who now slips into the 4th position.
They were 3 wide coming off of turn number 2, and Kevin Trevelyan in the 19 was really squirrely. They had to back out, and they all did. They all made the right choice and able to race on from there, but that could have really been something as Mike Weida goes for a slide down into turn number 1. That allows Ryan Dyson to the inside. Here comes Dwayne Baker as well.
19 laps left to go, this time across the line for Trevor Culver. Started back in the 5th spot, but again was quickest in qualifying this afternoon. So no surprise to see car number 1 here at his home track out in front and leading it down into corner number 3.
He's not driving away from Ferreira, however, in that 9 machine. Let's have a look. I don't do this a whole lot, but once in a while I like to see the lap times as they go by. 20.66, 20.70. So virtually identical lap times between Ferreira and the leader Culver, as we've got one way up out of the group, and that's Mike Weida in the 6th in 1 and 2.
And Matt Bentley down here on the front stretch is rocking and rolling. That car is not running right. He heads down into corner number 1. I don't run to the yellow.
I don't know if he has a flat right front or a missing right front. You know, Luke Ramsey didn't say a lot in the drivers' meeting today, but one of the things he did says was, folks, we don't need any pit crews fighting. We don't want to see fighting. It's not good for the sport. But if there was going to be a fight, I want to see Matt Bentley, because that's what he does for fun on the side. I don't know if he's a Muay Thai fighter or if he's an MMA fighter or what his deal is, but I've seen some of the training he does and his videos online, and it scares me, Greg.
That seems unfair. Why would you want to see that fight?
Well, he'd have great fun. Who's the next toughest out there? Put him up against Colton Everingham. He's 7'3", for goodness sake.
Well, the crew to work on Matt Bentley's car down in the infield. Another driver who spent some time behind the wheel of the late model division as well.
That was his brother Mike.
Oh, sorry, Mike. Sorry. Yep, you're right. Matt spent.
And Matt may have run a late model.
No, but he is. He's been in the super stock division for a number of years.
A racing family, that's for sure.
Yeah, I picture Mike as a fighter too, and that's why I kind of got. Mike looks like he could hold his own too. Like not a fighter as a brawler. I mean, he looks like.
Then I want to see Mike and Matt fight each other.
Oh, okay.
That'd be evenly matched.
There you go.
I was watching a biography of Bret the Hitman Hart. I've still got to watch the end of it, but it talks about his feud with his brother Owen Hart. I thought there's just something perfect. It's so natural when brothers have to start to hate each other. They should do it with announcers, because we could really portray that we hate each other. Hey, act like you don't like him.
Portray?
Act.
It just comes so natural for me. You're like the big brother I never wanted.
Therapy's going really well. Thanks for asking. So we've doubled them up again. Trevor Culver out in front, Andrew Ferreira on the high side, and that number 9, the 03, of course, Ray Morneau. So we're seeing a shifting of characters. Trevor Culver we expected up there. Ray Morneau has been quick enough to be in the top 3, but not really battle for the lead. But then there's been some new faces. Dwayne Baker, Nick Troback in the 73, Jason Parker, we haven't mentioned his name much at all. And here they are becoming factors as we get into the final laps of this race. There'll be 18 laps to go.
Field slowly picking up the pace, going down into corner number 3. Culver and Ferreira tightly bunched through corner 4, back to the green flag with 18 laps left to settle it here for the Qwick Wick Firestarter Super Stocks.
That looked like the most ragged restart through the field. It looked like these drivers are no longer able to just throw their feet to the floor and really put the hammer down. They've got their hands full out there as Todd Davenport just went 3 wide up the middle to pick up some spots. Now he'll work his way to the bottom of the racetrack. Out in front is Trevor Culver over Ferreira. Ryan Dyson is taking over the third spot for now, but Ray Morneau at that preferred inside groove. We'll see who wins that battle off of turn 2.
He'll get a good run off the second corner. Now Ryan Dyson put on that outside line, 3 wide into corner number 3. They're all gonna make it.
Not a recipe for success. Ryan Dyson got the short end of that stick. Jason Parker backed out of that. That could have been a worse situation there if Parker had forced the issue, but Ryan Dyson really lost some spots there on that restart.
So he'll find himself outside of the top 5 right now with Trevor Culver leading the way over Andrew Ferreira. Then it's Ray Morneau, Dwayne Baker, and Nick Troback now your top 5. Nick's done a nice job to march his way through this field.
Well, Nick Troback really made that aggressive 3 wide move to get around Ryan Dyson, put Dyson in an unenviable position, but it was definitely good for Troback as now he's on the back bumper of Dwayne Baker. Trouble in turn number 3. Nick Ramsey with problems again, along with Ethan Constable in the PumpMyTank.ca number 11. I got a dumb question, Greg. What camera is that from?
That is Chris Hawkins down in corner 3.
We've got people everywhere. So Nick Ramsey, now it does look like both wheels are turned hard to the left, if I'm not mistaken, which I often am. It's been an eventful night. Let's have a look again from our speed shot on the outside of turn number 3. And that was a good choice for a camera.
Yeah, great shot there. Great replay as well. A couple of drivers to give a good shout out to. Nick Troback, as I mentioned, up in the top 5. He started 17th. 2 spots behind him is Dave McCullough in the 39, who is right now riding in 7th, started back in 20th. So 2 drivers avoiding some of the mayhem that we've seen, had solid races and solidly inside the top 10.
Good to see a lot of drivers I'm looking at right now towards the tail of the field. Justin Collison in the 12, Marley Owen in the 21. They're getting invaluable seat time. Just Brad Collison's down there in the pits giving his advice, I'm sure, throughout the day. He's run a lot of races here at Delaware Speedway over the years as Nick Ramsey brings that 07 into the pits. Not sure if they're going to work on that car to get him back out or if he's going to nose in towards his trailer. Ethan Constable also down there in the number 11 machine. Spencer, feel free to give us another look at that one. What was it that sent the 07 spinning in the first place? At the top of the screen. So there's the, okay, there's definitely contact there. Who was the contact with, though, as he saves it? Whips back around the other way. So I don't think the initial contact was with Ethan Constable in that 11.
So 35 laps complete, 15 to go here for the Qwick Wick Firestarter Super Stocks. Still to come, the Spectre Premium 100 for the APC late models. Glad you could join us here on G-Force TV. I want to welcome our live audience as well. I'm glad to have you here in attendance tonight. So good to see fans in the stands once again, and we're just happy to be able to bring it to you live from wherever you are, and those that are right here in attendance. A great evening so far, and still another big race to come.
Well, guys, Nick Ramsey here putting a new left front flat on. They got a bit of left side body damage. And you can see the body panel there just right behind the left front is flopping around a bit. We'll see if that's going to be a problem. Obviously, some of the braces are off on the body here for the Ramsey 07 as the crew works on lugging down the left front. They can't do much about that hood. It is buckled, and here he goes.
Well, just in time because they've taken the 1 to go. They're going green out of turn number 4 as he'll work his way back towards the racing surface. Out in front, the field in the control of Trevor Culver in the number 1, and they're about to run over the pace car.
Back to the green flag. Trevor Culver at a back bumper full of Ray Morneau Jr. and shoots away in front. Andrew Ferreira, here comes Morneau down to the inside.
Good launch for Culver. Morneau following him through. Ferreira drives it deep down into turn number 3. Morneau able to keep the nose there, but Ferreira with a great run through 3 and 4. He'll take the second spot. Morneau back to third. Dwayne Baker up to 4th, and then the Stroback and Weeda battling for 5th.
Kenny McNichol, what a run down into corner 1 mid-pack. He actually clipped the end of the pit lane wall and still got the spot.
Yeah, we need to dedicate one camera to the Black 17 of Kenny McNichol. He is on a tear, working his way into the top 10 as he gets to the inside of Johnny Morrison in the 83. He'll pick up another spot down into turn 1.
Down the backstretch goes the leader into corner number 3. Trevor Culver, as we're watching down mid-pack as Jason Parker and Ryan Dyson work their way through that pack of cars.
Whoa! Jeez, contact David Rockwood on the straightaway. Todd Davenport, Doug Stewart involved. Who's that other car? Is that Corey McAllister? It's hard to see the writing on that car, but that was a big old melee. We are seeing some comers and goers as we were nearly 10 laps to go in this Qwick Wick Firestarter Super Stock Premier event.
Culver continuing to lead, but he did not jump out to the huge advantage like we saw on the previous restart. Andrew Ferreira right there, just over a half a second, 0.638 seconds back of the leader.
Yeah, Ferreira's been able to keep him sort of in his own time zone out there as Ray Morneau opens some gap over Dwayne Baker. I'm still in awe of Kenny McNichol in that 17. What a charge to the front for that race car as we see him now on the back end of, who is that? Jason Parker, I guess, coming out of turn number 4. And McNichol looking to get a run down into the first turn. He will.
And here he is on the inside in corner number 1. Parker on the outside. They roll it through the corner, up the hill, now down the hill and down the backstretch. McNichol's got a good run on the inside.
Right behind them, Ryan Dyson and Mike Weeda duking it out side by side for position as well. They are still side by side. Parker not giving up on that outside group, and Kenny McNichol really able to drive these corners hard.
Yeah, this is what you call a driver that really wants it. You can see him right on the edge and making things happen. He'll take that spot away and now work on Dave McCullough, the 39.
What a race it's been for the 39 machine of Dave McCullough. It's just been a quiet, successful run through the top 10, and now Hurricane McNichol going to close in from behind him. It's about to get a little more exciting as McNichol closes in on the back end. Can't make a move right there. He's going to have a look to the outside and drive it deep around the high side.
6 laps left to go in this one. Culver, Ferreira, Morneau, Baker, and Stroback, the top 5. As McCullough will hold off McNichol on that outside. Here comes Jason
Parker there.
Sorry, I had a brain fade there for a moment.
It's all good. There are 5 laps to go. 45 laps down, 5 laps remaining. It is all Trevor Culver by about 10 car lengths over Ferreira. Then half a straightaway back to Ray Morneau in that battle with Dwayne Baker. I'm still enjoying watching Ryan Dyson trying to fire his way back up through the pack along with Kenny McNichol. Both of those battles, you can watch both of them at the same time because they're right in a row as they cross the stripe.
Oh, McNichol down to the inside of McCullough. He'll take the spot and, I mean, literally take the spot.
McCullough tried to close the door. McNichol just kept his nose there. McCullough did a nice power slide down into 1 and 2 and maintained control. And managed to not lose any more spots, which is pretty darn impressive from where I'm sitting right.
So that's going to put McNichol up to the 6th position now behind Stroback. Leaders working around the lap car, Mick Ramsey, and I'll tell you what, the top spot, it's heating up, and it's 2 laps to go this time by
2 laps left, Culver out in front, but here comes Ferreira right up on the back bumper. There a little bit of smoke that had to be tire smoke off the brakes. Going down into turn number 1, 2 car lengths is the gap.
Trying to close it down at corner number 3. Lap traffic in front, but 1 lap left to go. Culver out in front. Ferreira there in second. One more trip around Delaware Speedway.
Down into 1 and 2. Ferreira following in the tire tracks of Culver. Culver able to stick that car on the bottom. Ferreira closes it a little bit off the exit of turn 2.
Down into corner number 3 and 4 for the final time. Culver works it through, rolls it off of corner number 4. Ferreira gives it a shot, but the checkers come out for Trevor Culver.
Second place to Ferreira. Third going to go to Raymore. No, Dwayne Baker fourth. Nick Troback in 5th, Kenny McNichol 6th, then it's McCullough, Parker, Dyson, Pepper, Boundy, Weeda, Morrison. Well, Andrew Ferreira kept race winner Trevor Culver honest there in the closing stages. He closed in, couldn't quite get there. But folks, for me, for the love of racing, for whatever you want, when these drivers get down into victory lane, you can cheer, you can boo, you can clap, do whatever you want, but for goodness sake, stand up and make some noise. It has been a long time coming to get you back to the racetrack. We're glad you're here. These drivers are glad you're here. Show them you appreciate the show they put on. Let them hear you when the time comes.
Trevor Culver down on the backstretch now, making his way to victory lane, and our Clinton Jeffrey. Trevor Culver, the winner over Andrew Ferreira, Ray Morneau Jr. 3rd, Dwayne Baker 4th, Nick Troback, your top 5 is the first ever winner of the Qwick Wick Firestarter Super Stock Series. The name in the record book will be Trevor Culver. Dave Frank's there to give him the checkered flag. And he'll head down to victory lane, and our Clinton Jeffrey will greet him down there. Home track win. $50 laps in the books, still to come. The Spectre Premium 100 for the APC Late Model Series. Let's throw it down to our Clinton Jeffrey.
Well, race fans, he almost can hear you. We'll wait till he gets the helmet off. We'll ask you to make some noise for the first Qwick Wick Superstock feature winner of 2021 and the inaugural feature winner of the entire series. Ladies and gentlemen, he gets ready to make his way out of the number 1 car. And we'll get you to make some noise. Are you happy to be back at the races? Let's hear you. Trevor gets the Epic Racewear Victory Lane hat on. He's ready to climb out and grab that big bucket of Qwick Wick Fire Starter. How about it for Trevor Culver? Trevor, come on around and talk to us here. Come on, you too, Ryan. Trevor, come on around and talk to us here. Trevor, what a drive. You had them covered tonight. At the end, they were trying to work it up to the back bumper, but you were just too stout tonight. Tell us what it means here to grab the first checkered flag at the rebirthing of Delaware, the Qwick Wick Superstock Series. There's a lot of firsts here tonight, and you're the first one to be here in Victory Lane. What does it mean?
It means a lot. I tell you, there's a lot of people that support me. This track, right? This is where I grew up racing racing all my life. Always dreamed of racing here, raced here for years. This one's super special.
And I'll just give you a moment there. Guys, he's pointing to Jared's name on the roof. Go for it.
Jared Dockstader, one of my best friends. He would be super proud to see the track like it is today. Big kudos to Luke Ramsey over there for all the heavy lifting and the good ideas. He's got a hell of a crew behind him too. All the new ownership group, got to thank them, but most of all, I got to thank the people that helped me get here. I got to thank the people that put this guy in victory lane. That starts with Inventory Express Lubricants, Carter Trucking, Hodges Custom Service, DK Equipment, Mr. Transmission, Wild Sprinting, Minuteman Press, New Vista and Ahmed Wakas, MJ's Roadhouse, Mark Kennedy Trucking, Outback Tire Shack, GNL Automotive, Melrose Garage, Culver Towing, Novus Glass, London or Fix Auto, London Northwest, Hallmark Memorials. I'm probably forgetting a couple. I think I did a pretty good job of rhyming those off. So I got to thank all those guys for helping us get here. Qwick Wick for sponsoring the series. And my crew. Couldn't be here without the crew, right? The car was on rails tonight, and that wasn't all because of me. There was a lot of people that helped us get this here to Victory Lane tonight, so I got to thank Alan Gold, Tanner Perry, Daryl Stanley, my mom, Sue Jones, my dad, my uncle, my stepdad, my fiance. There's about 4 or 5 guys from McCall's I got to thank for all their help. The list goes on and on. My brother, anyone who believes in me and supports me, they see how much I want this, and they all do whatever they can to help me.
You paid him back tonight. Trevor Culver gets it done, ladies and gentlemen. How about it? Move over here and talk to Andrew Ferreira. Well, buddy, you were close. I mean, he was just the class of the field tonight, but can you be happy with the second run here in the first ever Qwick Wick Superstock Series event?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Yeah, car was on rails, just needed a few more. Maybe could have caught Trevor, but that's the way it goes sometimes.
Awesome job here. Anybody you want to thank?
Oh, yeah, special thanks to all my sponsors, McRobert Fuels, Spartan Reynolds, H&M Pipe Product, JL Excavating, Busink Welding, D's Fabricating, Damon Optimal, Evelyn's Sausage Kitchen. Thanks especially to all the fans, my crew. If it wasn't for all you people here, we wouldn't be able to do this.
Right on. Ferreira gets second. Where's Ray? Come on over here, Ray Morneau Jr. Ray, not bad for you. You know, a bit of a home track run for you. Can you be happy with third tonight?
Yeah, for sure. We came down here and tested about last Monday. We were really happy with it. The car loosened up a lot there toward the end of the race and just couldn't hold on to it. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way the car was. You know, to come home third with this field, I mean, there was 39 guys that probably 25 of them could have won. I mean, the field here is unreal. I got to thank my Uncle Dan. He has the car. Let me drive it, so pretty cool.
We brought it back in one piece. Congratulations. Ray Morneau Jr., ladies and gentlemen. And how about it for your top 3 and for your feature winner, Trevor Culver? We'll be right back after a quick break here on G-Force TV, folks.
That are fake. There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Pinty's Man Cave sausages and street dogs. Pinty's Man Cave sausages and street dogs. Crave the Cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave. Crave the Cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
This, who relies on his truck for work, a guy like this who relies on his truck for work. And he takes care of his truck. Will take care of him. WeatherTech has always takes care of his truck protection. And WeatherTech has always been the ultimate protection. To no-drill mud flaps. To Techliner for your truck. To no-drill mud flaps. To Techliner for your truck. Handy under-seat storage system. To the handy cup phone keeps phone secure in any cup holder. And cup phone keeps phone secure in any today at WeatherTech.ca. Order your ultimate protection.
Early man discovered fire, but Qwick Wick Early man discovered fire. Qwick Wick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire. The only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, kindling or stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or Qwick Wick. Find your nearest Qwick Wick retailer at QwickWick.com.
When you think about it, so it's time to rethink how productive your planter can be. So it's time to rethink how productive your planter can be. Case IH 2000 Series Early Riser Planter. With the new Case IH 2000 Series Early Riser Planter. More accurate. We rethought your meter, so it's tougher. Took the most precise technology. We rethought your installed it. Took the most precise technology. Every inch of the Case IH Early Riser Planter. We rethought every inch of the Case IH Early Riser Planter. And if you think the most productive, that's exactly what you want. And if you think about it, that's exactly what you want.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly Race Chat. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly Race Chat.
Interactive every Tuesday night. Jeffrey, your live Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers live on the air. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on G-Force TV. Every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on G-Force TV.
What makes a trailer a Miska? What makes a trailer a Canadian steel they are made from? Is it the heavy-duty Canadian steel they are made from? Is it the exceptional finish that will last year? Is it the exceptional finish that will last year? How about year? These the best back trailers on the industry. These the best back trailers in the industry by Miska. So what makes these trailers Miska? So what makes these trailers Miska? Canadians who craft them. It's the fun of Miska. Canadians who craft them. We are Canadian. We are Miska. We are Canadian tough.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Pinty's Man Cave ribs shouldn't be one of them. Authentic Pinty's Man Cave ribs. Authentic the cave from real people. Pinty's Man Cave.
Well, welcome back to G-Force TV Live. We got Frank from Qwick Wick. Frank, you're a huge super fan. You know, I saw you at all the tracks last year we met. You're going around thinking, we got to do something. Well, you've done something now. We've got all the super stocks together for Qwick Wick on the Super Stock Series. You look real proud. You just said, what a heck of a race. You got to be happy with how this is kicking off.
This has been awesome. Dave and myself, you know, he put most of the work together on this one here, but you know, with Luke and APC and what they've done here and what they're going to do, we're really, really looking forward to it. And we just love the fans that are coming out here. And, you know, everybody has been waiting for this day for, what, a year and a half, 2 years?
I got to ask the fans, make some noise if you've tried Qwick Wick. It is the best product out there, Frank. I mean, my friends are raving about it. Anybody who camps anywhere, goes to any races, you can cook with it, starts fires. Man, just what a cool product. If you're not checking it out, you go check out Qwick Wick.
Awesome. We thank all the fans, all the drivers, and all the teams here. It's been a great deal for us, and we're looking forward for the rest of the season.
Get up to that beer gardens and enjoy the rest of the race. Frank from Qwick Wick, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get over here, and we're going to get going here with a couple other things we got going on. Luke, you're going to have to talk to me here. Luke, I know you don't want to talk to me, but how cool is it to have fans back? Tell us a bit about the official charity here of Delaware Speedway.
Well, we've made a strategic relationship with Prusty for Kids charitable foundation. We're excited about it. Delaware Speedway wants to have a charity of choice, and we think it's a great one. It helps out a lot of kids, and we got a great local hero who's going to be here to do the Gentlemen Start Your Engine. So we're pretty excited about it.
All right, we want to tell everybody, go to www.prustyforkids.com. It's the official charity of Delaware Speedway.
Yes, sir. We're really excited about it, and I think all the people in this area are sure happy to have a guy like him at home.
All right, Luke, great job by you and all your staff to get us going. Busy man here tonight, and we'll keep rolling, guys.
APC Series lining up on the front stretch here at Delaware Speedway. My name is Greg Kellman. With me, Adam Ross, Clinton Jeffrey down trackside as we get ready to bring you the Spectra Premium 100, presented by Pennzoil. Race number 1 for the APC Late Model Series. You see the cars lining up down on the front stretch here behind the pace car, and last year's champion, Joe Lawrence, in that number 78 machine, starting on the outside of the front row.
Problems along pit road for Sean McGlean and that number 1. So Clint, looks like a bit of a different plan down there, but you'll be able to handle it. Audibles and last minute adjustments, Greg, are what we do best.
Well, it's what we do.
There's a lot of places to go with that. Because since we don't do anything particularly well, being the best of what we do really isn't that big an accolade. Let me just confirm here.
.100 laps the distance here from Delaware Speedway. Again tomorrow night on G-Force TV will be at Brighton Speedway for the Pinty's Knights of Thunder 360 sprint cars, along with their late models, Canadian modifieds, Thunder stocks and mini stocks, 7 o'clock here on G-Force TV. Waiting for the opening command to be given here in just a moment to get things going here for the APC Series. Let's send it down trackside. Clinton Jeffrey
Well, guys, Luke wants about 1 more minute here before we get rolling. So we'll get back to you as soon as they're ready here trackside.
No problem at all. Race number 2, Flamborough Speedway, in a couple of weeks' time. We'll be there here on G-Force TV. So if you can't make the track just outside of Hamilton, Ontario, you can join us there. There you see on screen, of course, tomorrow night. As I mentioned, we'll be at Brighton Speedway here on GeForceTV.net. And next Saturday night, we'll be live to you from Merrittville Speedway, where the Action Sprint Tour will kick things off for their first race of the 2021 season. All free, all live here on G-Force TV.
And of course, Delaware Speedway with racing on Friday nights. Love you to be here live for all of those. If you can't be here live, check it out on Rogers TV as Sean McGuinn has lapped the field.
We got Brandon Press here. Brandon, let's talk about, first off, you're missing the Habs game tonight. How's that going?
Well, by looking at my phone, it doesn't look like it's going too well for him, but I'm a race fan now, so hockey's in the past.
Let's talk about what it means to have this charity for kids and be the official charity of Delaware Speedway. It's always amazing, and the race teams always give back, and so do the fans. It's a very special deal.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I've had the Brandon Press Foundation for about 10 years, and we've done a lot and helped out a lot of kids in need. And you know, the city of London and surrounding area are very generous people, and I'm honored to be a part of it.
So you say you're a race fan now. What do you think being back? All these fans here, the pits are full with teams. We're back full force.
Oh, no, it's awesome. I was just up there with some family, and we're just talking about how much of a fun time and fun atmosphere, and the crowd, to see the crowds back, it's amazing.
All right, well, we're just about ready to go. Are you fans ready? Are you really ready? You waited over a year to make some noise. Let me hear you do it. All right, we're going to put Brandon to work here. You guys have to help us out now and give us those famous words. Are you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
All right, boys, we're ready to go trackside. Up to you guys in the booth for the lineup.
100 laps the distance this evening here at Delaware Speedway. The Spectra Premium 100 presented by Pennzoil. Your starting lineup will go like this. From the 26th position out of Owen Sound in the fireplace and patio shop, haveone.com, number 69, it's Wally Wilson. Starting 25th in car number 4S out of Owen Sound, the Swiss Chalet and Harvey's Owen Sound Struck Energy Systems 4S is Zach Sprung.
On the outside of row number 12, all the way from Sault Ste. Marie, the Wardlaw Heating and Cooling Northern Fencing sponsor, number 61, it's Dustin Jackson. And on the inside of row number 12 in the number 79, out of Fraserville, the custom forming walls, Bonsor Brother Concrete Pumping, number 79, James Horner.
Rolling off in position number 22 from Southampton, the Tom Gibbons Concrete Finishing, Graham Family Auto CarQuest, car number 10, that'll be Tom Gibbons. And starting to his inside, having some problems getting that machine going here tonight from Waterloo, the Blast Floor Coating Epoxy and Concrete Shot Blasting. Late in car number 1 is Sean McGlynn.
On the outside of row number 10, he drives the number 88 machine, sponsored by Spark Power out of Otterville, Casserole Edge. Also on that race car, it's Rick Verburn. Alongside him to the inside, driving the number 19. Starting in position number 19, driving the number 4 out of Hamilton. The SSG Gloves Holdaway Motorsports, number 4 is Connor James.
Starting in position number 18 out of Chesley in the Canadian Flat Roof System, APC Auto Parts Center, car number 17, prime time, Josh Stoddy. And rolling off to his inside, driving car number 77 out of Mount Bridges, the London Drive System, Maple City Tire Ford, that is Darrell Lake.
Starting 16th in the 97D out of Guelph, the Maker's Pizza Retail Design Group, number 97D, Tyler DiVincenzo. And on the inside of row number 8, driving the number 27 from Carlisle, the Maple City Tire Transport Trailer Sales, number 27, Matt Box.
Rolling off in position number 14 from Guelph in the Wellington System Hose Tech Chevrolet. Car number 83 is Dale Shaw. And to his inside, driving the Castrol Edge Spark Power number 28 from St. Thomas, Ontario, it's DJ Kennington.
Starting in the 12th position, in the number 18, he's out of London, the Gen 7 Fuel Oneida Discount Auto Parts Depot and Supply number 18, it's Patrick Friel. And alongside him in the number 54 out of Orono, the Mobile One B&W Enterprises 54 is Danny Benedict.
Starting in position number 10 out of Mount Bridges, the Pride Seeds Vibrant Farms Ford. Car number 52, that's Jake Sheridan. And to his inside, starting in the 9th position out of Allenford in the Sauble Falls Tent and Trailer Park, Stewart's Equipment Ford. The 81 is Andrew Gressel.
Starting in the 8th spot out of Norwood, the SMG Motorsports J-Box Construction number 29, Flying Ryan Kimball. And alongside him in the 3 out of Dorchester, the North Country Property Maintenance APC Auto Parts Center number 3, Shay Gemmel.
Starting in the 6th position, the driver out of Cambridge, Ontario, and the Cambridge Rigging Transaxle number 84, it's J.R. Fitzpatrick. And to his inside, starting in the 5th position, he's the 2020 APC Series champion from London in the Pennzoil APC Auto Parts Center. Car number 78, Joe Lawrence.
And that is where he qualified with the redraw. Joe Lawrence moving up to the outside pole. Starting in that 5th spot, he had fast time earlier on from Grimsby. In the Renomato Group Construction number 32, RGC Sports Ace Services entry, it's Trey Lapsovich.
Up in row number 2 on the outside in car number 21 out of London, the Global Warranty ToyotaTown.com Toyota number 21 is Matt Predico. And starting to his inside in the 3rd position, he hails it of Stainer, Ontario, the Great Lakes Concrete Barry Frame and Alignment Ford. Car number 9 is Brandon Watson.
We mentioned it's Joe Lawrence on the outside of row number 1, and that's 78 machine starting on the pole, driving car number 22 from London, the APC Auto Parts Centers, Total Lubricants number 22, Pete Shepard III.
26 drivers ready to go 100 laps here in the Spectra Premium 100 presented by Pennzoil. Round number 1 of the 2021 season for the APC Series.
These cars handle much differently than the super stocks. J.R. Fitzpatrick said it best. They're on bump stops. They're right down on the racetrack. Trey Lapsovich been the class of the field. He was quick in practice on Monday. He was quickest in practice today. He was quickest in time trials. Folks, give these drivers a wave. They're waving back at you. Next time by, they're going to be up to speed down the front straightaway to kick off the 2021 APC Late Model Championship season.
Pace car will dive down to the inside of corner number 3. The field will stack up and get ready to go for 100 laps. The APC Late Model Series 2021 season starts now.
That was a big start for the 22 of Pete Shepard. Oh, problem a little further back. Ryan Kimball got squirrely out of turn number 2. He is dropping through the field right now. They split him high and low into turn 3.
Pete Shepard will lead lap number 1 with Brandon Watson in tow in that 2nd spot. Trey Lapsovich holding on to position number 3 as they work it through corners 1 and 2 down the banking and corner number 2 down the backstretch.
Shepard out in front, Brandon Watson settling into 2nd, Trayton Lapsovich up to the 3rd spot, so that inside groove really got off well on that start. Joe Lawrence 4th, he's got Matt Pritico to his inside down into turn 1.
Pritico, a regular runner here at Delaware Speedway, working on that 4th position in the Global Warranty number 21. He'll take the spot, move into 4th, and right behind him, Shay Gemmel will try and squeeze in the Sparks Fly.
Sparks off of Shay Gemmel battling with Joe Lawrence in the 78 behind them. J.R. Fitzpatrick trying to close in. If Joe Lawrence gets pushed up the racetrack, J.R. Fitzpatrick does not want to miss the opportunity, and he does not.
pulls up alongside that 78, and they battle down into turn number 3. That is a battle for the 6th spot.
Shepard running just a little bit higher than Brandon Watson, and Watson trying to find a run down on the inside as they go by the lap car of Wally Wilson. Down the back stretch, they work another time. Pete Shepard leads over Brandon Watson, Trey Lapsovich, and Matt Pritico, the top 4, broken away from 5th, Shea Gemmel.
These top 2 cars, both McCall Racing Enterprises entry. In fact, 3 of the top 4 are Trey Lapsovich, a White Motorsports built race car. He has shown a ton of speed. Matt Pritico, that's a brand new McCall car. So 3 out of the top 4 are brand new race cars this season, Greg.
Pete Shepard flexing muscle early on in this one, leads on lap number 6 here in the Spectre Premium 100 presented by Pennzoil. Here comes Matt Pritico now down to the youngster Trey Lapsovich, looks to the inside of him, dives down low in corner number 3.
Pritico just barely showed a nose down in turn 1. Lapsovich left him lots of room, same in 3 and 4. But Trey Lapsovich being congenial here in the early going. Out in front, Brandon Watson all over Pete Shepard as they work the outside of the slower car of Zachary Sprung through 3 and 4.
Leaders work off the 4th corner. Brandon Watson once again showing that he's got speed in that number 9. The Great Lakes Concrete number 9 is right there on the back bumper of Pete Shepard III. They'll work it down the back stretch. Another time by Wally Wilson.
Wilson keeping his car down to the inside. The driver from Owen Sound, Ontario. They travel a long way to a lot of these races.
Shea Gemmel now has closed the gap on the top 4, and now he's right there. 6th place is Joe Lawrence, the defending champion. Then a gap back to him is J.R. Fitzpatrick running in the 7th spot.
So Brandon Watson continues to fill the mirrors of Pete Shepard. Not sure if he wants to make a move or if he just wants to keep Pete Shepard fairly distracted out there. Further back, we got some side-by-side action. DJ Kennington to the inside of, I believe that's Patrick Friel down the back straightaway. Friel hanging in on the outside. Friel has a new crew chief this year, Jeremy Noon, a veteran crew chief. He's worked with a lot of different race car drivers this year. He's working with Patrick Friel in the 18.
Puts Friel back to the 12th spot. DJ Kennington up to the 11th position. As once again the top 5 single file across the stripe to complete lap number 12 of 100 here at Delaware Speedway.
Andrew Gressel made a move on the 84 J.R. Fitzpatrick. He wasn't able to make it stick, but that allowed Sheridan to get to the outside in that 52. A great little 3-car battle deeper in the top 10 as they work through turn number 4.
Leaders work to the outside of Wally Wilson. Oh, Brandon Watson thought he was going to do something there. It bunched things up just a little bit. The top 5 nose to tail into corner number 3. Some tight racing.
Man, Shea Gemmel drove it deep down into 3. He had to go up the racetrack to avoid contact with Matt Pritico in the 21. It looks like Wally Wilson is headed down pit road. That might be the end of the night for the young man from the North Country.
Leaders go around the Sprung 4S another time as they work it off of corner 4 to complete lap number 15 now. 85 to go here in the Spectre Premium 100 presented by Pennzoil with Pete Shepard leading over Brandon Watson, Trey Lapsovich, Matt Pritico, and Shea Gemmel.
The beautiful thing, Greg, about a full field of race cars is on a long green flag run where things get strung out. They string out all the way around the racetrack, so there's not a lot of downtime. If there's not a great battle at the front, there's going to be a battle somewhere on the racetrack. It's just a matter of looking for it. But right now, these top 4 drivers are nose to tail down the backstretch, and Shea Gemmel and Joe Lawrence are not far off.
No, we've got some good drivers battling it out mid-pack as well. As you mentioned earlier, DJ Kennington and Patrick Friel. Well, Friel's gotten back by DJ now. And he's got J.R. Fitzpatrick right in front of him, Dale Shaw and Ryan Kimball right behind DJ Kennington. So just a smattering of great drivers throughout this one.
Hey guys, just want to jump in here. Wally Wilson, he's putting input into the steering wheel, but the wheels are not turning, it looks like. So problems with the steering here in the 69.
Great to have Clinton Jeffrey all over the place down there as we're watching Jake Sheridan put the moves on the 81 of Andrew Gressel. Gressel had gotten around J.R. Fitzpatrick. In fact, a few cars have gotten around J.R. Fitzpatrick as he slides backwards, but Sheridan looks to be on the move towards the front. He was confident earlier today that he had a great race car, Greg.
Here comes Pete Shepard around Dustin Jackson now in the 61 machine, putting him a lap down with Brandon Watson in tow. A little bit of a gap back to Trey Lapsovich in the third spot. Matt Pritico, Shea Gemmel remain inside the top 5. Joe Lawrence keeping them within striking distance. And it's Andrew Gressel, Jake Sheridan, and Danny Benedict, along with DJ Kennington, the top 10.
That's the most daylight we've seen between the top 5 as Shea Gemmel was looking to the inside of Matt Pritico, but he had to tuck back in line as they went around the Dustin Jackson number 61. Brandon Watson now has reassumed the position of right under the rear deck lid of the race leader, Pete Shepard. And unless my eyes deceive me, I think Matt Pritico just got real loose there in turn 2.
Horner gets lapped 3 wide through 2 lap cars. Go Pete Shepard. It was Gibbons on the top spot, up on the high side rather, and sprung on the bottom. Bold move by the leader. He threads the needle.
Shea Gemmel taking advantage of the traffic to make a move on Matt Pritico and move the North Country number 3 machine up to the 4th spot. Pritico back to 5th. As quickly as things heated up there at the front, they have cooled down just a little bit. They've spread out somewhat. Wow, Jake Sheridan finally had gotten right up alongside Gressel in the 81. And then they got to a slower car and Sheridan had to drop the anchor and fend off Danny Benedict. Now Benedict has DJ Kennington to the inside of him down into 3.
Lap 25 goes on the board. 75 left here in the Spectre Premium 100 presented by Pennzoil. Pete Shepard out in front. Brandon Watson keeping him in check. And right now the top 5, I think, maybe just have decided, you know what, let's log some laps. Let's get through the first part of this race. Meanwhile, behind them, there's all sorts of action with lap traffic and drivers going at one another to try and make their way towards this top 5.
Well, it's tough. You got Horner in the 79 running the high groove and actually now coming down right across in front of Andrew Gressel in the 81. So they've got to go to the outside of Tom Gibbons and then to the inside of Horner. So it sort of bottlenecks things up there for a little while each time they hit traffic like that. Now they're back into open traffic. Pete Shepard out in front with Brandon Watson absolutely stalking him from that 2nd position.
Yes, he is. He's been right there and able to pounce at any moment in car number 9, but biding his time behind Pete Shepard, the 3rd, the APC Auto Parts Center Chevrolet, as they work it down into corners 1 and 2. Right there on the back bumper, Trey Lapsovich now has Shea Gemmel in his rear view mirror as he and Matt Pritico have swapped those spots. And Gemmel's putting the heat on.
Yeah, Gemmel's been on the move. Trey Lapsovich, you know, and you've got to wonder if they've set the car up for the end of the race, because as we say, he's been the fastest car in every section so far that he's been out there on. So is he just hanging in there? What's he up to behind the wheel of that 32? He's got a lot of racecraft in that brain for a teenager.
Closes the gap that time on Brandon Watson now that Shea Gemmel's put the pressure on, and they all right there. The top 5 continue to be there. Here comes Gemmel to the inside of Trey Lapsovich now off of corner number 4, but the 3 car bobbled a little.
Clinton Jeffrey, if you need something to do, feel free to head down to Jeff Lapsovich on the pit box down there, the 32 machine. Find out if they're happy with how the car's running and if they think it's going to come to them. We're about a third of the way through this race, so you can expect things to change a little bit, but I'm curious. He is under a lot of pressure right now.
More heavy lap traffic coming in the sight of the leaders in the first car will be Sean McGlynn and Josh Stoddy already in danger of going a lap down.
You know, Josh Stoddy, he was so fast at so many races last year, and he got caught up in mishaps, tore up a lot of equipment, so I wish he was doing a little bit better, but at the same time, if he can keep that car in one piece, he's got to feel good about that if that's how his night ends.
His top 5 have now bared down on the Sean McGlynn number 1. Pretty good distance amongst the top 5 and a big gap now back to Joe Lawrence, who's lost ground to the leaders, and here comes a battle for the lead. Brandon Watson slips to the inside. He's going to have a lap car in his lane.
It was like Pete Shepard drove to the outside of Sean McGlynn long before he got to the number 1 of Sean McGlynn, and the car just did not stick down into turn number 1. Brandon Watson drove underneath. Here comes Pete Shepard trying to return the favor. They still haven't got to the 1 of Sean McGlynn, but they've got more to worry about as other slower traffic. This is really going to check things up.
Sprung on the bottom is a lap down. Then you've got the 1 of Sean McGlynn, Josh Stotty, Will Gibbons are all right there. Lap traffic in front of Brandon Watson. Watson looks to the outside line. Shepard will go down there to the inside, but trying to deal with this lap traffic, kind of guessing where to go, and Watson's got the better line. Clint?
Well, I got Jeff Lapsovich here. Jeff, Adams' question is, you know, you got a lot of speed in that car. Are you guys just riding, or what's the story with Trayton's machine right now?
No, he's pretty steady. We're sort of just cruising right now. We're going to keep in the front pack and save some for the end here. I think we're looking at a long run here.
All right, Jeff, he's just riding it out, guys. There you go.
Well, he's riding it out right now. He's riding it out in the middle of a storm, a hurricane, have you, as the leaders really got into a bit of a frenzy for a moment. Trey Lapsovich will clear the Will Gibbons 10, and now I'm sure the heartbeat kind of lowers a bit.
Yeah, there was some contact there with Josh Stotty and Tom Gibbons. Stotty got sideways there off the corner amongst the leaders. I thought, boy, this could really go bad.
And what that did, it helped drivers like Joe Lawrence, Andrew Gressel, Jake Sheridan, and DJ Kennington kind of close the gap on the top 5 because they had a hard time getting by those 3-lap cars.
You know, you get into a long run like this, Greg, you start to think, is this going to go green the whole way? You know, is there going to be a caution to bunch things in? Should I start to push it? And that's, you know, that's where you get the comers and the goers, people who start driving a little bit harder, people who take care of their stuff and hang back, and they never do get their opportunity. So that's why short track racing is so tricky, especially in these longer distance races.
Brandon Watson now beginning to show some muscle as he's starting to pull away from Pete Shepard after biding his time in the first 30-plus laps. Now stretching the distance a little bit, but he's got another big pack of cars in front of him, and Rick Verburn will be the first that he'll have to dispose of.
Shea Gemmel getting racy with Pete Shepard there as they work down through 1 and 2. Shea Gemmel really able to keep that car pinned right to the inside of the track. That was a beautiful move. He split the lap car, knew that Shepard was going to go right up to the wall, so he shot the middle, did Shea Gemmel, and he'll pick up that 3rd spot. Second spot, sorry.
Shea Gemmel has worked his way into the top 5 and raced against the best of the best to get him into the 2nd position. Now we'll keep an eye and see if he can chip away at this lead by Brandon Watson.
You know, there's so much conversation in short track racing in Ontario, and I'm part of the problem because I participate in a lot of the conversation. I don't think we give Shea Gemmel enough credit for the quality of racer that he is, the quality of equipment that they bring to the racetrack either.
No, he's kind of like, let's say, the Matt Kenseth type of guy, that he's there, quietly there, and then all of a sudden, oh, now he's really there and he's in a position to win. And right now, the last couple of laps, he stayed at the same distance, 1.2 seconds behind Brandon Watson.
We're within 5 laps of the midway point of this race, and boy, oh boy, these every time they get to some of the faster lap traffic, the lines get wide. Oh, problems for Gemmel in that number 3. Either he just got up out of the groove, misjudged something, or something has gone amiss on that 3 machine. Something is wrong. Something is wrong with the Shea Gemmel number 3.
Yeah, and it happened last lap as he was coming off a corner 2. I thought it looked like he was down on power a bit there, and now he's drifted back. Matt Pritico has passed him, and he's switching the car around. Have to see if something is wrong.
He's got a flat right rear
right
tire.
Rear, yeah.
Oh, what a heartbreak for Shea Gemmel in that number 3 machine as cars are working their way past.
That's hard. How do you get it into the pit area here? That car, oh, he might be the first caution at this rate.
He might be. He keeps it off the wall. He keeps it off the competition, but Shea Gemmel has nowhere to go in that 3 machine as the field is strung out equal distance all the way around the racetrack, and he's going to ride around on that right rear rim. Well, Trevor Hambley, the race director, has a decision to make, and he did manage to get down to the inside in that 3. Can we stay under green?
Looks like we will, and across the stripe this time by. It'll be halfway in, 50 laps complete. 50 to go here in the Spectra Premium 100 presented by Pennzoil at Delaware Speedway. Greg Kellman along with Adam Ross, Wyndon Jeffrey here on G-Force TV.
Gemmel makes that long, slow march down the pit road. I believe Clinton Jeffrey is down in the area.
Heartbreak for Shea Gemmel, who was marching towards the leader. And then you don't even get the break of getting the caution flag to be able to come down pit road and not lose a lap. But now this will put Shea Gemmel out of contention.
In the APC series, being an 8-race series, it is tough to have even one bad night and hope to contend for a championship. Anything can happen in racing, but look at the traffic for our race leader, Brandon Watson, down into turn number 3. They're too wide in front of him. He's got the buffer of one car between himself and Trey Lapsovich, now 2 cars.
Working on Connor James, and we'll work off the back end of him down the back stretch. Matt Box next in line for Brandon Watson. Trayton Lapsovich with the 2-lap cars between he and the leader.
It blows my mind to look around as lead lap cars catch up to lap cars and cars on different laps. They fan out 3-4 wide down the back straightaway throughout the field, and it's very brief. It's just a flash, and it happens, and you hold your breath a bit and say, wow, I'm glad they got through that. And then it's normal for a couple laps, and then we see it again.
Peter Brandon Watson now working to the inside of Darrell Lake to put him a lap down. 3-lap cars between first and second place. There's Brandon Watson. Trayton Lapsovich in the second spot with Pete Shepard riding there in third. And then a bit of a gap back to Matt Pritico, who is kind of on an island all by himself because it's quite a distance back to Jake Sheridan, who's worked his way up into fifth.
One driver we should mention, the 47 of Jordan Sims, was here today. He didn't make it to the start of this one, did he, Greg?
No, didn't see him today.
He was out for practice. Something went wrong earlier on for the 47. We should make mention they travel a long way to come racing. They didn't compete at all in 2020, so he was excited to be back at the track for 2021. Wow, that was close between Rick Verburn and Patrick Friel off of turn 2.
I think Friel's got a tire issue as well, as that car was all sorts of sideways. He'll bring it down pit lane in car number 18.
Another driver who is pretty excited about what's going to go on this year and the team he's put together and the equipment he's bringing with him to the racetrack. He'll roll down there to the attention of Jeremy Noon and the rest of the crew.
Brandon Watson out in front. He's got a bit of clear sailing, but then the next car that he is set to put a lap down is DJ Kennington.
And DJ was kind of on a slow march towards the front as Brandon Watson quite a ways out front in that 9 machine. No, that's Ryan Kimball.
Oh, yep.
That's flying Ryan Kimball.
I was going to say, DJ's up in the 6th spot right now, so it's Ryan Kimball about to go a lap down, and he's in the 12th spot. There, that's better. So that's the torrid pace we've been on.
Yeah, it's not better if you're Ryan Kimball.
No.
Watson closing in there as we look down on the front stretch. Shea Gemmel back on the racetrack, but he is laps down to the leader. Another one slow. Matt Pritico in the 21.
So far, it looks like it's been right rears that we've seen issues with. Patrick Friel, that's what they're working on right now on his car. And what's the case here for Matt Pritico, who thought he had a pretty good car today?
Yeah, he was pleased with his chances here tonight. A brand new McCall race car underneath Matt Pritico as he'll roll towards his pit stall.
Hood pins coming off on the 21, the Global Warranty 21 of Matt Pritico. Clinton Jeffrey on the scene down there.
Attrition starting to play a toll here as, Clinton's down with the 21 of Pritico. Clinton, what are they working at?
Just here on the 21, guys, the crew under the hood. They're looking on the valve cover side here, trying to figure out what it could be. Right on the right side bank here at the valve cover, and they got the flashlight in there trying to figure it out. They're not sure what it is, but the car just did fire up. Now they're looking in the fuel tank as well. Maybe a fuel pickup issue, guys. Give us a minute. We'll get to the bottom of it.
Clinton Jeffrey on the scene down there. Ryan is camera operator. Man, oh man, he is all faith. He goes where he's told by Clinton, and Clinton, the veteran that he is, gives us some great views of the action down there on the pit road.
Working a lap 67 this time by across the stripe for, make that lap 66 for Brandon Watson. 67 now across the line here in the Spectre Premium 100 presented by Pennzoil.
We got a good battle going on for 5th, 6th, and 7th. DJ Kennington in the 28, the 81 of Andrew Gressel, the 52 of Jake Sheridan. Tell you what, Andrew Gressel has to feel fairly good about being competitive out here. It has been some tough seasons for Gressel. He's got a white motorsports race car, so does DJ Kennington, that 28. Of course, that's one of Fitzpatrick's cars, and DJ Kennington with so much success here at Delaware Speedway.
Yeah, I think Andrew was last race of the season at Newcastle last year, had a hard wreck. I believe that was the night he suffered that wreck down in corner number 1, so good to see him up there and competing where he is normally found.
Another battle to watch, Joe Lawrence in the 78. The dominant car of 2020 is out there just ahead of the 54 of Danny Benedict and the 83 of Dale Shaw. That is 8th, 9th, and 10th on the racetrack as they work off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. So let's give you a quick rundown of the cars on the lead lap, Greg.
Brandon Watson is the leader, of course, in car number 9. Trey Lapsovich running in the 2nd spot. 3rd is Pete Shepard running in the 4th spot now. It's all the way back to DJ Kennington in the 28, and then Andrew Gressel back there in the 5th spot. Then we find Jake Sheridan in the 52 machine, and he's battling with the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick. And then I believe is it Danny Benedict, the next car in line?
Yeah, in the 54 machine.
Yep. And then Dale Shaw and Joe Lawrence. And then, of course, Ryan Kimball just went a lap down.
Well, guys, I got Tom Gibbons here. Tom, what's the story on your car? What took you out of this event?
We lost a brake duct probably 35 laps ago, and it just boiled the left front brake, and we just couldn't get into the corner, and we were just getting in the road and didn't want to cause a wreck.
Darrell Lake.
We appreciate you, buddy.
Darrell Lake around the back. Sorry, Clint.
Trouble on the back straightaway. Darrell Lake again. There's so many great cars in the field. Darrell Lake felt good about his chances. That's a new McCall chassis with his old running gear on it, and he is faced the wrong way.
Heartbreak there because really, although a lap down, he was up in the 14th spot, had a solid run going, had just been lapped not too long ago by leader Brandon Watson, and now he ends up backwards on the back stretch in that beautiful looking Ford Mustang.
Race fans, how about a round of applause for these late model drivers? 72 laps of green flag action here at Delaware Speedway. They are up on the wheel. There was some give and take, Greg. There was some bump and grind, but mostly just some great short track racing. We're going to have a look at this replay, and boy, that wreck took a while to occur. Andrew Gressel was involved in that. I don't know that there was contact, but Gressel was in the vicinity. Spencer, do we have the backstretch speed cam to see that from? No. Okay. So that is our view. Give us that view one more time. I don't think we can see what caused the mishap, just that there was a mishap. Yeah, things have already started to happen when we see that. And Lake is, it could have been Lake had a problem, moved down to the inside. It could have been he was slowing down Andrew Gressel for a while. We just don't know, but I'm sure Clinton Jeffrey is right down there as we get some beautiful overhead shots from the drone. Folks, for those of you in attendance, take advantage on your smartphones, watch the replays, or maybe tomorrow when you go home, if there's anything you want to see it again, check it out. And, we appreciate you being here. Clint, what's going on down there? Actually, let's go to commercial first, then we'll come back to a report from Clinton Jeffrey on pit road.
A guy like this, who relies on his truck for work, knows that his truck will take care of him if he takes care of his truck. And WeatherTech has always been the ultimate protection. From floor liners to no-drill mud flaps to tech liner for your truck bed to bump step to the handy under-seat storage system. And Cup Foam keeps phones secure in any cup holder. Order your ultimate protection today at weathertech.ca.
When you think about it, productivity starts at planting. So it's time to rethink how productive your planter can be. We did with the new Case IH 2000 Series Early Riser Planter. We rethought your row unit so it's tougher, more accurate. We rethought your meter, took the most precise technology, factory installed it. We rethought every inch of the Case IH Early Riser Planter to make it the most productive planter around. And if you think about it, that's exactly what you want.
What makes a trailer a Miska? Is it the heavy-duty Canadian steel they are made from? Or is it the exceptional finish that will last year after year? How about knowing that these are the best backed trailers in the industry? These are the reasons you buy Miska. So what makes these trailers a Miska? It's the hard-working Canadians who craft them. We are Miska. We are Canadian tough.
Back at Delaware Speedway for the APC Late Model Series on G-Force TV. Greg Kelman along with Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey down trackside.
Yeah, last year's point champion, Joe Lawrence here on pit road. Guys, they're looking under the rear end. Not sure what the situation is. Doesn't sound like the car's running right now. We're going to take a moment, but serious problems for Lawrence. 78 here in pit stall number 1.
Well, one thing they could be doing, because he was so far back on the lead lap, they might have just come in either to check measurements or to make an adjustment, because you've got nothing to lose.
I have fired it up, and I see Scott Steckley here on the back bumper, so I'm going to jump in here and grab Scott, former NASCAR champion, and see what he can tell us about the situation here. Scott, what's up with Joe's car there? You don't know? Who's going to talk to me? Nobody wants to say this? What's the story with Joe's car?
We're just making an adjustment here to try and get him a better run. We got lucky with that caution, so he's the last car on the lead lap. So we'll give him a little bit more to work with, and hopefully he can run up the front.
Thanks, guys. There you have it, Adam.
Clint, get a good shot of that hat. Like we saw what it was.
There it is.
Make Delaware great again. Beautiful.
What'd you say?
I said they're doing great work here, so we're really happy to see how this race has gone.
Hopefully you guys had a better finish. There's the Lawrence crew, guys, and they're happy Delaware's great again.
I was going to challenge you. When you said you were going to go talk to Scott Stackley, I'm thinking, no, he's not. Scott doesn't talk. Like he used to do it in Victory Lane because he had to, but otherwise Scott Stackley, he's the strong, silent type, and he does it on the racetrack, but I give you credit for the effort.
There's nights I wish you were the strong, silent type, but
you know.
Oh well.
That wasn't bad. I was going to knock you on that, but no, you've taken some good shots tonight. It's okay. It's a long summer. I think I spent too much time in the sun. When I can't throw jabs at you, what life isn't worth living.
Guys, I got Matt Pritico here. Matt, what's the story on your car? You're out a bit early.
Yeah, the last 10 laps, it started to sputter in the corners a little bit, cleared up on the straightaway. I think we have a fuel issue. I'm not really too sure. The guys haven't found it out yet. But yeah, the car was fast tonight. We were just hanging out and having fun in 4th, 5th place, win for 50, 60 to go, and then get on a little harder. But yeah, just unfortunate mechanical issues tonight. Car's fast. We'll be back next race, I believe, at Flamborough.
Appreciate your time, Matt.
Thank you.
Matt Pritico out of this one early, guys.
28 laps remain here in the Spectra Premium 100 presented by Pennzoil here at Delaware Speedway. Brandon Watson is the leader over Trey Lapsovich. Pete Shepard the third. Andrew Gressel fourth. Fifth right now is DJ Kennington. Sixth, Jake Sheridan. Seventh, J.R. Fitzpatrick. Eighth, Danny Benedict. Ninth, Dale Shaw. And 10th, Joe Lawrence, and I believe he is still the last car in the lead lap. I don't know as though Ryan Kimball got a lap back. No, he's still one down, I believe.
He should have got his lap back. Ryan Kimball should have got the free pass, I believe.
Oh, right, yeah.
When things get sorted out, he'll wind up on the lead lap. But what a show. 72 laps in, and there's still more than 10 cars on the lead lap. That's an impressive showing, because we talked about it a little bit earlier. There are a lot of brand new race cars out here. There are McCall Racing cars. There's a Fury car. There are White Motorsports cars. There is a left-hander chassis out there. There's cars prepared by Taylor Holdaway out of that stable. There's a lot of different manufacturers. White Motorsports, I can't leave that out. And there's some of each of them still on the lead lap, because you got Dale Shaw, that's the Shaw Motorsports. They build their own stuff. We've got McCall out in front. We've got White Motorsports running in the second spot. If you're interested in chassis builders, it's McCall, White, McCall, White, White, McCall, White. Danny Benedict, I think, is McCall. I wrote it down earlier. I'll have to get my facts right. Then you've got Shaw, then McCall. So that's what you need in the sport. You need that competition to drive people to be better. Ask Mike McCall that. He doesn't want to build all the cars in the field. He needs someone chasing him, keep him sharp.
The field doubled up, and we'll go back to the green flag with 28 laps left to settle it here at Delaware Speedway on GeForce TV.
I want to give a shout out also Tyler DiVincenzo in the 97. His goal tonight, his goal for this season was top 15 finishes. There he is out there in the 13th spot. He's a lap down or 2 laps down to the field. I think just one. That's a solid outing for the young man from Guelph.
And we have not had a chance yet, the first caution of this race, so I think this time by we're going to listen to the sights and sounds of the APC series on GeForce TV with a Qwick Wick fire starter. Fire it up and to just bring you the action without the words, and sometimes that can be just as fun too. So let's get back to it. 28 laps to go. Let's fire it up. Thanks to Qwick Wick fire starter. Left to go, and we have a new leader atop the scoreboard. Trey Lapsovich, as his dad said, just kind of biding his time. Well, guess what? The clock has run. It's time. He's out front.
Great restart for Trey Lapsovich. Further back, Danny Benedict goes for a long slide up on the outside of JR Fitzpatrick. Smoke out of the Sheridan 52. DJ Kennington to the inside of Benedict as well. Here goes Dale Shaw next. So tough couple of laps for Danny Benedict in that Mobile 1, number 54.
Lapsovich across the line of car length back to Brandon Watson. Then it's Andrew Gressel, who haven't seen much of tonight. He's been hiding outside of the top 5, but now that the money's on the line, there he is ready to pounce, and he's been good at this track. He's won the Great Canadian major event here at the end of the season before at Delaware Speedway. He knows how to get it done.
They made wholesale changes in practice. They were throwing springs at the race car. They were doing everything they could to find speed. And boy, oh boy, it looks like he did. Remember, Andrew Gressel made Delaware Speedway his home track for a number of years down here.
That battle at the front is long from over. Brandon Watson is right there, and I get the feeling this may come right down to the last lap. And now Jake Sheridan has got some issues on that 52. It seems every time he goes into corner 1, there's some smoke coming out of the back of that machine.
I don't see it in 3 and 4, which is kind of odd, but yeah, down into 1 we do. Brandon Watson working the back end to Trey Lapsovich
it's the right
for
front.
the lead.
Sorry, Adam. It's the right front.
They had a wheel bearing failure at Flamborough Speedway 2 weeks ago. That's what knocked him out of that race. I'd hate to see the same thing again for the 52 of Sheridan.
Don't forget they had problems earlier in qualifying, but it was the left front brakes, and now look at that car smoking heavily into corner 1 as the right front goes down deep into the corner. And meanwhile, while we're watching that, Brandon Watson out in front over Trayton Lapsovich.
When did that happen?
Obviously in the last 5 laps, Adam.
Holy moly. That's disappointing. We're watching one thing, and Brandon Watson goes out there and jumps into the lead over Trey Lapsovich. Lapsovich falling back towards Andrew Grezel in the 81, so the veteran Brandon Watson has control of this race with 18 laps to go.
And he stayed there on the back bumper of Trey Lapsovich and now is back by less than 20 laps to go here in the Spectre Premium 100 presented by Pennzoil. Here at the Delaware Speedway, Greg Kellman along with Adam Ross, Clinton Jeffrey here on GeForce TV. Glad you could join us. The laps are winding down. Does anyone have anything for Brandon Watson?
That's got to be unnerving if you're J.R. Fitzpatrick driving down into the corner each and every lap and seeing nothing but flumes of smoke out of the 52. So Fitzpatrick closing in on the back end of Jake Sheridan. I'm sure he wants to make a move. It doesn't seem to be slowing Sheridan down any, but it's just filling JR's windshield with smoke.
Watson right now over a second advantage over Trey Lapsovich. We'll see what the differential is this time by.
Trouble out of turn 4.
And it's Jake Sheridan slow on the front stretch.
Well, I was just jumping in to talk to his dad, Ron, and I said, Ron, will you talk to us? He said, sure. And then he said, he's got a flat tire. So Ron couldn't talk to us. It finally blew up there on the right front for Jake Sheridan. So we'll get over and follow his young brother, Nick Sheridan, who will work on changing the tire. Nick's a crate champion of the sprint cars and just got tapped for a big ride. He'll be throwing some 360 racing coming up soon, guys.
Jake Sheridan making the long drive down pit road at pit road speed. We are just complete lap number 87, so 13 laps to go, and I don't think that right front is flat.
No, Adam, it's the upper control arm has gone on this car. You can see the right front is all leaned in over there, and that is a big problem for Sheridan. So it looks like the suspension has let go in the right front, and that's the problem here for Jake.
Dale Shaw making a move to the inside of J.R. Fitzpatrick, so move Dale Shaw up to that 6th position in the 83 machine.
As Brandon Watson continues to pace the field with 11 laps left to go, he's extended that lead by over a second now, 2.1 seconds back to second place, who is battling right now with Pete Shepard III. The battle for the runner-up spot is on.
Wow, that was close racing down into turn number 3. I don't know if there was contact, but it looked like there might have been. Still door-to-door down into 1 and 2. Shepard on the inside, Lapsovich on the high side, Andrew Grezel right behind them. Shepard gets the spot, now Grezel going to squirt by for the 3rd position. Drayton Lapsovich knocked back to 4th.
Watson crosses the stripe. Now here's Pete Shepard, who's worked his way back up to 2nd. That restart for him did not fare well. He kind of got bounced around, but showing how strong his car is, worked his way back up in the runner-up spot.
Grezel applying the pressure to Pete Shepard down through 3 and 4. Shepard moving up the racetrack just a little bit. Grezel able to come off on the bottom. Grezel to the inside down into turn 1.
Rolls it through the corner, maybe a little contact. Hard to tell down there in corner 1. Close call as they work it down the back stretch. Grezel now to the 2nd spot.
Oh, trouble.
On strong.
Trouble in turn number 1. We've got one around. That's Tyler DiVincenzo. A single car spin. Doesn't look to be much damage to the 97, thank goodness. We talked about the youngster having a great drive. Oh boy.
We'll talk about an unknown here on this restart because Andrew spent much of the race outside of the top 5. Boy, he looks strong on making that move to 2nd. We don't really know how he matches up with Brandon at this point.
You know how he matches up is historically.
True.
You look back years, these two were at each other. Super late models, late models. They've done a lot of traveling, a lot of racing. I mean, these are two. I've had this fight with my wife, this discussion about the Montreal Canadiens, who she continues to hate. I said, you know what? You need the villain to be good to make the hero even better, and that's kind of like this. I want to see Brandon Watson at his best. I want to see Andrew Grezel at his best because I miss watching that. Having those two along with Pete Shepard and Trayton Lapsovich, and now DJ Kennington, like that's like Nolan Ryan coming out of the bullpen to close one, right?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting finish with 9 laps left to settle. The Spectra Premium 100 presented by Pennzoil. Plenty of action down in the pits. Ryan Kimball is in the 29. Attention going to the right side of the car. And Ryan was running in the 10th spot.
Race fans, we hope you've enjoyed yourself so far. What a show to come back to. The weather forecast was a little bit iffy, but as it turns out, just a beautiful day for racing, a beautiful crowd assembled here, and we are set for a phenomenal finish. Trey Lapsovich on that 2 restarts ago, or was it last restart? It was last really got a nice run to the outside, took the lead from Brandon Watson. Watson took a couple of laps to get things back together, and then got that position back. It looks like Gressel going to restart 3rd instead of 2nd once they go back to the last completed lap for scoring. I would like to have seen him on the outside, see if he could sail it in there. The way Shepard's car's been running, I'm not sure if he's got it in him to sail it in there on the outside. The last time we saw him do that down into 1, it cost him a spot.
We're getting to see some fireworks way off in the distance, but I'm wondering if they're about to come a whole lot closer here in these final 9 laps.
They just might. Look at these cars, folks. They are beautiful, they are pristine, and they are about to get driven by some amazing race car drivers. McCall on the front row, White Motorsports on row number 2. Then a White Motorsports and a Shaw Motorsports in row 3. Great to see that, as we already mentioned.
Ryan Kimball makes his way back out. He is still the last car in the lead lap in the 10th spot. So a good solid night for flying Ryan Kimball and the Sean Grossman Motorsports team.
So they're working on the lineup right now. The 18 of Patrick Friel up there among the lead lap cars. So in the APC series, all lead lap cars start at the front of the field, then it's lap down cars behind them. The blinking green light at the back of the car is almost certainly the transponder. And I'm not sure why we see it on some cars and not on others, because I thought they're mounted in the same spot on every race car, but in case folks are wondering what that light is, if you look under the back of these cars and you can see it, Brandon Watson's blinking, you can see its reflection on the racetrack. I guess they mostly run them in that same spot on the left rear. You can see most of them blinking. We're going to double up the field this time. Race director Trevor Hambley is satisfied. Things are the way they should be. As we mentioned, there were some scoring challenges in the last couple of years, Greg. So Luke Ramsey, the head of the series, they made some big changes. Daryl Timmermans is still the competition director. He looks after everything in tech. Trevor Hambley is the race director. Pete Gutler is the head scorer. Alex Nagy brought in as a special advisor to the series. The Gibberpotamus, Sean Gibbs, on the flag stand.
I've never heard that nickname.
Oh, no?
No.
Oh, we've had some fun over the years. Man, oh, man.
Most of it can be found on Facebook, because I know I've seen a few.
I got in trouble so I made a video of Sean squeezing himself into the flag stand in Nova Scotia. And let me tell you, Alex Nagy was not impressed with my use of time that day. And then he watched the video, and he still asked me to send it to him once in a while. Hey, can you send me that video? In fairness, I'm an announcer, Greg. We would show up at a racetrack. I love the NASCAR Pinty Series, have a lot of fun with it. We've had some great races here at Delaware. You show up at the track at 7 in the morning for an 8 p.m. race. I'm an announcer, Greg. How much work is there to do for those 13 hours? So Tyler DiVincenzo headed back onto the racetrack with that Maker Pizza number 97. Looks like some debris down in turn number 4 they've got to go out there and grab. And I believe we'll be set.
Sure, I think Matt Box may get a lap back here.
I wasn't sure if he will or not. That's good to see also. Matt Box has had some tough runs, some tough luck. In this series, it's so difficult to have success and so easy to run into trouble. So we double them up. Brandon Watson in the 9 on the inside. Pete Shepard in the 22 on the outside. Row number 2 to me is pretty exciting. The 81 of Andrew Gressel. He has got to be as hungry as anybody out there to see some success with that 81 machine. Trey Lapsovich in the 32. Got to be a little bit disappointed in the performance of that car the last number of laps. Like either something didn't go their way or contact maybe knocked the alignment out on the car. Hard to say, but that 32 not quite what it was earlier in the day.
Field given the 1-to-go signal, this time by Brandon Watson. And Pete Shepard the 3rd. Restart up at the front. Andrew Gressel, Trey Lapsovich back there in that 2nd row. And as you pointed out, Adam, there's DJ. Clint?
Yeah, this was the debris, guys. A super heavy sway bar arm off one of the cars. Don't know who it is, but someone's missing a piece about 5 pounds. Good thing they found that before we went back.
Those are bulky. I know, my kid bent one.
How much? Back to the green flag with 9 laps to settle it here in the Spectra Premium 100 presented by Pennzoil.
Little gamesmanship through 3 and 4 coming to the restart. Brandon Watson with Pete Shepard right alongside. Andrew Gressel paddling as hard as he can on the inside to battle for that 2nd position.
Gressel on the bottom, Shepard up top, and all the while Brandon Watson saying keep at it. Do what you're doing in my rearview mirror because that's perfect.
DJ Kennington makes a pass on Trey Lapsovich. So does J.R. Fitzpatrick down into turn number 1. What a battle. Dale Shaw, he wants a piece of that as well.
DJ Kennington down to the inside looking for the 3rd spot, trying to shuffle Pete Shepard out of the way. J.R. Fitzpatrick now in the mix as well.
Anytime Fitzpatrick has a sniff of the front, you know he's going to give it his all. Fitzpatrick to the inside of Pete Shepard to pick up a position. Dale Shaw on the inside of Trey Lapsovich still trying to complete that pass. Move Dale Shaw up into the 6th spot.
Lap 94 on the board. 6 to go for Brandon Watson. This time across the stripe, 1/10 of a second quicker than Andrew Gressel, so he strengthens his advantage just a little bit.
Pete Shepard has a problem on that 22. I'm not sure if he's got a right rear gone down or what's up with that 22 machine, but he cannot get on the throttle coming off the turn. That car is just a handful.
It's Brandon Watson, Andrew Gressel, and DJ Kennington now the top 3. Quite a battle going on behind J.R. Fitzpatrick for the 5th position. They're 3 wide into corner 3.
That wasn't going to work for very long, but Trey Lapsovich, he wants to go. Something has woke that 32 car up, or just the Dale Shaw battle with Pete Shepard slowing them down just a little bit, but Trey Lapsovich all over the throttle on this one. The laps are winding down. 3 laps to go this time.
Brandon Watson out in front. Now 1.1 seconds the difference between he and Andrew Gressel. DJ Kennington rides in the 3rd spot, and then it's J.R. Fitzpatrick. And a big gap to that big all-out fight for 5th.
2 laps to go this time. Danny Benedict is driven up. He wants to take part in this melee as well. Dale Shaw trying to complete the pass. He'll do it off of turn number 4. Now it's Trayton's turn.
Yeah, Trayton looks low on Pete Shepard. Slides it into corner number 1. Sticks it on the bottom side. Tries to get the run off the 2nd corner and down the backstretch.
Across the stripe, the white flag is out. Brandon Watson with a half a straightaway lead over Andrew Gressel.
Down the back stretch goes Brandon Watson. Been solid all evening long here at Delaware Speedway. He was there all year in 2020, but Joe Lawrence had the better of him, and now he'll come back with the first win of 2021. Brandon Watson wins the Spectra Premium 100 presented by Pennzoil.
Andrew Gressel in 2nd, DJ Kennington 3rd, J.R. Fitzpatrick 4th. Rounding out the top 5, how about Dale Shaw finishing 5th, 6th through 10th. The 22 of Pete Shepard, the 32 of Trey Lapsovich, the 54 of Danny Benedict, the 78 of Joe Lawrence, and the 29 of Ryan Kimball. Folks, what a show this was. Fantastic to see that these cars pretty much end the night with all the pieces they started with. That's fantastic to see for opening night 2021. We will send it down to Clinton Jeffrey in victory lane to greet our top 3.
Brandon Watson will take a victory lap around the track. Dave Franks gets him the flag, and he'll do the celebration under the fireworks here at Delaware Speedway. Glad you could join us, everyone here live and in person, and all those online watching us here tonight. What a way to start the 2021 season for the APC Series on GeForce TV, as Brandon Watson gets the Great Lakes Concrete sheer number 9 back to victory lane, and he will bring his car down to the attention of Clinton Jeffrey. Squeezes it in down there, and let's send it down trackside to Clinton.
Well, we're going to let Brandon Watson get stopped. He'll get all his gear off. We'll stick Ryan right in the cockpit here as we watch Brandon Watson work his way out the fireworks up on the backside over turn number 2. And we saw some awesome racing here tonight, folks. Fans, they can hear you now. Make some noise. Did you like that action tonight? I agree. Amazing. Brandon Watson taking a breather here, talking to starter Sean Gibbs as they work their way out of the car here. We'll also get in and have a word with our 2nd and 3rd place finishers here, Andrew Gressel and DJ Kennington. Brandon Watson working to get the helmet off, pulls the Hans device out of the way, and he will work to get out of this beautiful number 9 machine. Still taking the driver comforts out. Gets a Gatorade from the health crew. And wait for Brandon to exit his car here. He will get his Epic Racewear Victory Lane hat on, and we'll get him out here. 100 long ones to start the season. How about it? Delaware Speedway, make some noise for the first feature winner in the APC 2021 Series, Brandon Watson. He will get his Epic Racewear G-Force mask on and come on over and have a word with us. He'll also get the Victory Lane stickers to put on the car. Come on, Brandon. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen. How about a hand for your feature winner once more, Brandon Watson? Brandon, let's talk about that race. You know, you hung around for 90, but in those last 10, you just gapped them. Were you playing games today? Did you have more the entire race and we're just waiting for those final 10? What's the story here on this number 9 car?
Well, we definitely had a good short to mid-range car there. In the long runs, we got a bit loose, but we're able to have a bit of a gap there to save our stuff as much as we can. Those restarts really got us. We were quite tight for the first couple laps. So after that, though, the car came in really good. So we were lucky to have a good run with Lapsovich there. We were able to get inside of him. And a good run with Petey there and all the other guys up front here.
What a heck of a start to this 2021 season. Seems like it's been a long time since we've had fans here. Does it feel like we're back to normal?
Yeah, definitely. It's a great start. Obviously, I see more people in here, but it's definitely a big crowd here tonight. And it's really good to see and happy that everyone had a good night tonight.
Let's talk about your battle with Andrew Gressel. Adam and Greg were talking about how you guys have raced each other up and down the highways and byways here in Ontario, many different classes. You know, to pull away, we got a heck of a field here. It must be really cool to be the victor.
Yeah, definitely. You always got to worry about who's behind you. And like I said, there's a whole field of good cars behind me. I was able, like I said, a couple laps there were nervous, but after that I was able to get a little bit of speed in the car. So fortunately, we just had enough to hold off today. Like I said, the restarts really got to us, but like I said, we were able to come away with the win, and I can't thank my sponsor enough, and of course, McCall Race Enterprises. This is a great piece. We had a lot of work to do. The start of the week, we didn't have that great a car, but we were able to come out and qualify good, get a good finish, and of course, all my sponsors, Sheer Metal Products, Very Frame Alignment, Redline Apparel, Great Lakes Concrete, and all the Spectrum Premium, APC, all their sponsors. It's a great event. They did a great job putting on a show for you guys.
Congrats, Brandon. Great way to start your 2021 season.
Thank you.
Brandon Watson, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get over here and talk to Andrew Gressel next. He's on the phone. Andrew, not a bad run for you. You know, you battled up and down the highways here as we talked with, Brandon, but can you be happy with second tonight?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a brand new race car, so this is our first time racing it. We got to thank everybody. We got to thank Whitey for building the car. My whole crew, we got everybody here today. I can't thank everybody enough. One of our main sponsors, David Gallinger Capital, he's out here helping us. Brian McDonald, Gareth Gonder, Steve Crawford, just the whole crew. We got to thank everybody.
Safe to say your luck didn't go the way you wanted last year. This is a way better kickoff.
Yeah, I mean, like, just to come out here, we had a lot of fun today, man. And with a brand new car, like, literally, we had it out at our home track up at Sauble there. We might have had 50 laps on it, and then we came here and raced it. So real impressed with how everything went tonight. I can't thank all my sponsors enough. Cuss W, Sauble Falls Tent Trailer Park, Gallinger Capital. We got Stewart's Equipment on the rear. Got a big thanks for those guys. We couldn't be here without them.
Good job. Andrew Gressel finished the second.
Also got to thank my wife and my daughter Ava and my mother-in-law. Everybody's here, so got to thank everybody.
Smart man. Andrew Gressel, we'll jump in here with DJ Kennington if we can. DJ's in the middle of a photo shoot, and J.R. Fitzpatrick over here shooting the bull with them. DJ, you going to tell us what that high five was about?
Well, everybody, I just got to thank J.R. Fitzpatrick. This is his car, and we didn't have our new one done yet, so he said, why don't you use mine? And, man, it's a pretty good piece. We worked hard on it the last couple days, and it's just awesome to see all the fans out here, man. Let's get back to normal here and have some fun. And this Castrol Edge car was awesome. All the people that helped me, Will Ride Transport, Cathcart. Everybody knows it takes an army to make this happen. My family's behind me 100%, and my whole race team, they work their butts off every week, and I'm proud of them. And Whitey, WMI helped me out a ton here again today. Everybody knows we go way back, so thanks, Whitey, and thanks everybody for helping us out.
You got it, DJ. Now, you've been up and down the road lots, too, everywhere, from NASCAR, trucks, Cup. Let's talk about this APC series, the level of competition. It's amazing here in Ontario right now.
Yeah, that's why I come out, man. That's the best there is. It's, I race the Penny Series, and it's tough competition, too. But these guys are awesome. APC does an amazing job. Luke and the boys, we can't do it without them. G-Force TV, everybody that helps this series, we really appreciate it. And we'll be out to play some more. It's a lot of fun.
Thanks, DJ. We'll see you around. Good run. DJ Kennington finishes third. Andrew Gressel finishes second. And Brandon Watson, your winner here in the first APC race of 2021. Adam and Greg, take us home, guys.
I got to say, Greg, that's a pretty thankful top three. There was a lot of thank yous. They named names, and you got to love that. Trevor Culver did the same in the Superstock race, and I think it's just a testament to these drivers appreciate so much what everyone has gone through to make things happen. I think drivers always were appreciative of the help they've got, but this last year and a half has changed a lot of things in people, and I've never heard so many thank yous in Victory Lane.
Very appreciative to be able to be where they are here tonight. We were so thankful to be able to have fans in the stands here and get back to some sort of normal. Don't forget, tomorrow night we're at Brighton Speedway, 7 o'clock start time. We'll have all sorts of dirt racing action for you right here on G-Force TV. So that will wrap things up from here at Delaware Speedway. On behalf of all of our camera crew and Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross, I'm Greg Kellnan saying so long from Delaware here on G-Force TV.
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of GeForce TV. GeForce TV would like to thank you for your support and for watching today's broadcast.